A greater demon.
A greater demon.
I mean, that's
I'm still hung up on the Kegels comment.
Why do we need a greater demon? We don't have any cheese.
All I need is a vial
We don't
of
have any
blood.
cheese. That was a pun. That was really good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shenanigoons. That I really don't have anything good to say here.
Don't
I
say
need
that
to come up with
crazy.
something. It took me like 4 weeks to come up with something in Countless Heroes, but that was 20 episodes, so you got to cut me some slack here. So we'll come up with something in this part where we talk about
Shenanigans are industrial fantasy game where
Yes,
you
industrial
can
fantasy
add to the
game.
mat. Where you can
Ooh,
add to the madness.
Add to the magic.
I was saying
madness.
madness.
I like chaos.
Sure.
You plus we equals.
Doesn't have to be that pithy.
Ooh.
Oh, it has to be pithy.
Welcome to Shenanigoons,
Welcome to
where
Shenanigoons.
the stats are made up and the accents don't matter.
Well, there's that. That's every D&D game. That's literally every D&D game.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Hi, friends. I see Autumn.
Hello.
Autumn, I miss you.
Hello.
Autumn. Fennec, I miss you too. I miss everyone. Everybody come to California. All right. So what's going on today? I don't know.
You realize
Tell us,
like
Logan.
5/6 of us on screen are literally in California right now, right?
Let's I was talking to our audience and Angela. All right.
I'm the only one that counts in that I miss you.
No, Autumn, I miss Autumn too. I'd love to hang out with Autumn.
Because Fennec lives in California.
should.
All of our audience. I'm supposed to have some stuff here. Where did it go?
I pinned
Boy,
it.
that's really tiny writing. That is really tiny writing. I need new glasses. Hold on. We got some stuff to read.
I made Logan copy.
I have copy and awesome stuff, and I didn't have time to get it prepared because I've been working my freaking butt off. So hi, everyone.
Is the copy with cream and sugar or black?
Yes.
But Logan
Pour
always
over.
with cream and sugar. Preferably with chocolate as well.
Makes him so sweet.
Now, do you go for the paper filter or do you go for the metal cone filter?
Paper filter.
Wrong answer.
I know. I am a simple girl who doesn't drink coffee. Unless it's in milkshake form. And I'll shut up so Logan can do his coffee now.
So what do we got going on right now? Not a lot. Just a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I thought that was the copy. I'm like, wow, this is really conversational.
I was like, wow.
So we are
supposed to
Shenanigans. We are the industrial fantasy D&D campaign, which we do ridiculously strange things. We're set in the world of Vale, and we have some amazing sponsors, and we like to talk about them up front and get that out of the way. Not that we want to get it out of the way, but we don't want anything to interrupt the flow of, well, we interrupt the flow all the time, so never mind. We want us to be interrupting the flow and not.
We're gonna preempt
things.
the flow.
We'll preempt the flow.
With-
I like that.
Flonase, feel free to sponsor us.
It is the most
I take-
delicious world building challenge of the summer. 30 days, 30 prompts, 300 words a day, incredible prizes, and incredible inspiration. What am I talking about? Over the course of July, World Anvil is releasing 30 writing prompts related to various aspects of world building. There will be various prizes, surprises, and activities throughout the events, so don't miss out on this chance to flex your creative muscles. Talked about flexing muscles earlier. Visit worldanvil.com to get started. T-Girl83
the
pinned
link
this
directly
message in
to-
this channel. And, oh, wait, I'm not supposed to read that part. You go to worldanvil.com, which is the most robust world building and campaign management software that exists. It is their big summer writing competition. Not competition, but a writing camp. And you can go
It's a challenge.
and challenge yourself. It's kind of like the thing they do in November, but it's for summer.
As Demetrius said, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the prompts in order. You don't have to do all the prompts. Just do the ones that are inspiring to you and have a good time.
Yeah. So go take a look at that. Go to worldanvil.com and you can sign up for to try it out with a free account when you're ready to get serious with it and you want to start editing the way that your world looks and your articles look and add more people to it. You can sign up to have one of their join the guild. That's what they call it, joining the guild. And you even get to vote on which features are going to come next. You can also see the newest product they have, Heroes, which is what I was described to me as, and how we've seen it is world building from the player's perspective, and campaign management from the player's perspective, where you get to track more things than you would normally in a campaign manager because it's designed for the player. So go take a look at that and light up the forge. Then next we've got Die Hard Dice. Die Hard Dice has released not one, but 2 new lines of metal dice. Today, Die Hard Dice released from their Celestial line, Harbinger, and from their new After Dark series, Neon Rain. And if you haven't seen these dice, they are incredible. Take a look. Go take a look. That's the English. Be sure to go check out. Oh, see, it's right there. I should just kept reading. Be sure to go check out the new releases. And if you, like our resident dice dragon, cannot imagine life without these gorgeous sets, use the coupon code Goonies to check out for 15% off your first or next order. So if you want to roll with the best, you roll with Die Hard Dice. I love that tagline. Last, we'd like to thank nerdsmith.org for all their amazing support that we give to ourselves, but also all the creators on the network that give to us. Daily support internally and creative support, and just an incredibly warm and amazing community. If you want to support a community like that, you go to nerdsmith.org, take a look at all the other amazing content over there. And if you'd like to join us for some a little bit of world building, and if you've ever been interested in building your own terrain for your campaigns, you can go look at Curious Crafts. It's a Twitch channel right here. Somebody will post that link in the chat, and that will allow you to go, or that would take you over to Anne's channel, who is Kajari's Curious Crafts, where they do all sorts of world building and campaign management. Geez, and terrain building. That's the big one, and they do commissions for their terrain building, a bunch of other really cool things. Their commissions are open right now, so you can take a look at that. Yes.
I got to hop into this the Curious Crafts stream today. I got to take a glimpse at what they were doing, and Anne is currently building a flail snail lair.
Yep.
I'm very excited. I also introduced her and Drake to snail fees. They were very excited.
Also for Anne's Kajari's Curious Craft on July 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a Saturday. They are doing a Bob Ross challenge on her channel, and you can come and participate and be entered to win a bunch of Bob Ross themed prizes, including, I believe, a Bob Ross Pop Funko Pop figurine.
Jimmy Funko Pop.
Yep.
Go and check him out. The Bob Ross challenge out on July 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
I'm
that
excited.
sounds fun.
All right, that's enough of all that. So I'd like to welcome you all to Shenanigoons, and we do that by going to a beautiful little video created by our very own Angela.
Where they're both presidents.
I don't remember. And we're back.
Oh yeah.
No, I know what was going on. What are we talking about?
I don't know the movie name.
They made up words to the song like that doesn't have words, and so I was like, well, let me hear your version, and
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what the
Hail
movie's called.
to
Though.
the chief, he's the chief, and he needs hailing. You know.
I like it. Merrick.
Hit me.
After your date with Bonnie, you unfortunately were tasked with handling something for the family. Your mother promises this has nothing to do with the date, that she was actually very excited about your potential relationship with Bonnie, but that there were some things that needed to be handled, and she needed you to take care of it. So it took you out of commission for a few days initially. What, briefly, were you taking care of for the family? And it would be something that would play to your strengths, but also something that would challenge you.
I think that someone in one of the other crime families was trying to get our attention, and I was tasked with infiltrating wherever they were and finding out what was going on, seeing if they're kosher, what they're all about, and reporting back and finding out what's going on.
Did you, Merrick, I hope, level your character by 2 levels?
To level 8, right?
Yes. Did you take Rogue as both of those levels?
I did.
Awesome. So you, after doing, give me a D20 roll. Let's see how good you did.
Okay.
You
Internally,
tell me.
Logan's like,
So tell me, there's a pivotal moment in your infiltration. Some pivotal moment. It doesn't have to be the pivotal moment, but it was something important. Tell me what that was. What skill you used to try to get out of it, and then give me that skill check.
There's a bunch of folks gathered around a card table, and they were playing a game, and in the middle of the table was their plans for something. Not really sure, but it seemed important to them. So he needed to ingratiate himself to the group and then swap out the plans with something else that were not the plans.
Sure. So sleight of hand?
Yeah, sleight of hand.
All right, give me a sleight of hand check.
Cool. That is a total of 14.
All right, 14. So you did an okay job with that. Give me an insight check.
Am I good at insight? I have no idea. Oh, I've got a +3. Let's see. That is a total of 11.
Perfect. So you're pretty sure you got away with it scot-free. You were very, very happy with that. You feel like you did a very good job. You don't think anybody at the table was any wiser, and you slipped away. After dealing with that and maybe the other things you were doing for the next couple of days, you return home to your mother, while after returning home, she asks you to explain in great detail everything that you did, and she just sits there and just patiently listens to you. And then at one point, before you even get to this, she asks how the card game went, and you hadn't even gotten to that point yet. And through a series of strange questions that only your mother knows how to ask, she ends up revealing to you that she was working with the other family, and that they had been working to push your limits, and to find out where you were struggling, and to be able to guide your training better. And then she takes you and sends you off with someone from the other family who is going to help teach you, since you've either struggling to learn from anybody in the family as is, or maybe she just wants you to have a different perspective. But you come to learn that the connection between this family and yours is a little bit closer than is publicly, even in your circles, known, at least with certain members. And then you are sent off with this person to train for the rest of the month, for quite a bit of it, as everyone else is sent off to do training. Who is this person?
Riku.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Riku. Yeah, right. Riku, absolutely. So Riku takes you in. What types of training besides sleight of hand is Riku going to be teaching you? So basically, tell me what you've learned over the next 2 levels.
Oh god, what did I learn? How to be additionally like more stealthy, to be choosier about where, like, how to place your foot as you're walking, how to properly case a place, because the Iron Roses specialize in actual, like, thievery and fencing of stolen goods, so they need to be able to figure out where the valuable goods are kept and where to hide them, of course. So basically an impartation of those types of skills, how to case the place, how to look for the weak spots and securities. Yeah, I think that was
Beautiful. All right. So after your training is done, now for those that may not know, Riku is a character that was introduced in the podcast. If you haven't watched the podcast, it's a member of the rival family. And now maybe you're starting
The Iron
Roses, and you're starting to maybe see why they were willing to help you, starting to understand a little bit more of this connection, and maybe finding out that Riku probably knows more than she lets on overall, as you get to train more and more with her. And we'll reintroduce Riku once I've had a chance to go back and listen and remember what the hell Riku was like. Although I'm pretty sure I know basically what they were like, because I unfortunately am very I have a particular type when it comes to female rogues, and I gotta kind of get out of that. Female ocean captains are the same. Well, sky captains too, I guess. They all have the same basics.
Women in power.
They're just different ages of the captain from Treasure Planet, really. They're all that
Different ages of sass.
Yeah, different ages of sass. I like.
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say I have.
If you haven't watched the podcast, go listen to it. Thank you, Adam. If you haven't listened to the podcast, take a look.
If you're listening to the podcast right now, what are you doing?
I forgot. This is becoming a podcast too. So for those that don't know, if you're listening to this podcast, we stream this show now, and then we just kind of edit it and chop it up a tiny bit, as opposed to the 16 hours of editing we used to do.
Barely chopping it up.
Barely, yeah.
You're getting the raw,
You're getting the raw.
unfiltered.
We should call it Shenanigoons Uncut.
No. We'd have to make a new logo.
A new logo and everything. The Shenanigans Uncut.
Shenanigans F.
Uncut, and then in parentheses, almost.
Almost.
So partially cut?
See,
That's an
so
awkward.
you missed.
So it's Jewish.
You missed.
Oh,
Right, you
no.
missed.
Oh.
I was gonna ask when
Go down,
when
give me a local
would-
boop. We're done.
I was gonna ask Merrick whether or not he could confirm how he could confirm that the other group was kosher. It's like, were you monitoring their dinner?
They were blessed by a priest. It's a very specific size of salt.
All right.
The pickles are amazing.
Lovely.
Some fellow named Reuben. I don't know.
Is that Robin's cousin? Sorry, that's not Adelaide's voice.
Must be.
That was Merrick's
Adelaide's
cousin's
voice.
voice, apparently.
Yeah, there's
So-
at least there's at least 1,000
Merrick.
cousins.
Merrick, when you're
live on an
done, you are
island.
then tasked by Robin to go on ahead and secure passage on a liner. You're going to have a contact within who's going to get you tickets on actually a fairly new ocean liner. That it's the largest galleon that really has ever been made, and the idea is that you will be working, or you'll be passengers on the ship, and that at some point you'll have the equipment to be able to know when you need to get off, and then 7 days later you will need to be back at the surface because the liner will be coming back to pick you up. And that the captain is actually not going to know that you guys are going to be leaving and rejoining the ship at any point. So you will have to figure out how to handle that part of things. But you will be legitimate passengers with tickets. but you need to go on ahead and get all that taken care of. So,
All right.
just before the four of you leave, and I believe that you're taking a small vessel down to the city, an ocean vessel down to the city that you're meeting Merrick at, correct? A ship.
Yes, I believe so.
And Robin has Ignatius. Like you guys are at the docks and you're ready to board, and Ignatius is like hobbling, running, completely out of breath, carrying this thing under his arm, and he comes up to you and he's here, Merrick.
Thank you, Egg.
And it's
Are
just
you
it's a
okay?
package. He
I'll
doesn't
make-
answer. He just kind of sits down.
He just collapses.
Bonnie surreptitiously sinks in a little bit of whiskey as a pick.
All right. He takes
Help
it.
you
he'll
catch your
drink
breath.
it. So he takes it, he drinks it, and he kind of nods at you, and he's just sitting there in his old frail bones and slowly dying. All right. So you guys get on the ship, and you start to
No,
head.
that's not funny. You can't do that. I love Egg.
You start
It'll
to
hurt
head.
me deep inside.
You start to head south towards the city. Now I don't know if we named the port city or not. I don't believe I.
Nope.
So
What's
what is
ironic
the
is
name
it's
of this
called
other-
Ashport, and it's not the port city. Or the other port city, gotcha.
I was gonna say it could be more than one port city. You're on the edge of the ocean there. So so what is this other port that you're going to called? And it'll be about a day's travel. What did
Seagate.
I say? I'm getting yelled at for stuff. I don't even know.
Say the Egg was dying. Seagate.
Seagate,
Seagate.
like the
They
hard
make
drive.
hard drives.
Oh, I didn't know it was a hard drive.
All right.
company. Sorry.
Racing is a big thing there.
They make big, hard to drive.
Saltgate.
Got it. Saltgate's kind of sea salt. Sea salt.
Was this big controversy? Just
Why does
blew
there
it
have
up
to
and
be a-
pushed and called it sea salt.
Arguing over it for days. I like Seagate. I think that's fine. Okay, so Seagate. So you, as you guys travel down to Seagate, you see very quickly off in the distance, and Merrick, you had already seen this from much closer. Is this very large vessel, twice as long as any galleon you've ever seen. Somewhere around 650, 700 feet long. This galleon, it is huge. Several sets of sails on it. It is literally the largest ship you've ever seen. We'll be able to hold hundreds of passengers. And there's this huge banner that's obviously covering up the name of this ship. It's a brand new christening, and it's sorry, the flashing is getting to me. And it's a fairly big town. It's not as big as Ashport. It's more of a I guess it would be just a smaller city as opposed to a near metropolis like Ashport is. So you've got this fairly decent sized city. And Merrick has had his basic run of the town for the last 3 days. Merrick, tell me one interesting thing about Seagate that you like, that Merrick likes so far. What does he enjoy doing, having a couple of days to kind of relax down here after making his connection and getting tickets?
They have a very particular type of gambling game that is, they call it hijacks, and it is literally like a combination of jacks, and there's small wooden tokens that you have that are ships. So it's like bowling, but with rubber balls, and then you have to, that's where I lost my train
I
of
think that's a great place. I love this game already. I'm down for it. Okay, so hijacks is your favorite game. Now, is this a street game? Is there parlors, or is it both, or what?
both.
And I'm sure you've availed yourself of both up until now. Give me a it sounds like it's a dexterity-based game, right?
Yeah.
So give me a dexterity check. Sleight of hand, actually. It'd be sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. Okay, that's a little better. That is a total of 26.
You are very good at this game. Roll a d20.
Straight up and down is a 12.
Over the past couple of days, you've raked in about 12 gold profit, which for a working class town of a port town, that's several weeks worth of salary you've gotten. Well, maybe I guess 2 or 3 weeks worth of salary you've won, over that. So that's very, very good.
And for the record, he'd be playing it straight because it's a new game. He wants to really learn the ins and outs.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And how do you shark people unless you know actually how to play the game? So yeah,
You got to know the ins and outs of everything
Mhm.
before you can shark people. Glass shark people. They don't see it coming.
that dog water.
So
The whales don't.
what did you both say the same thing?
No, I said that's one.
I was talking about Kyle and Arthur.
I said something about like dark water.
Okay. So, Kyle, you've been informed through sending that the 4 of them will be arriving on this ship, which we did not name the ship. So what was the name of the ship that came in?
Kepeth's favor.
I'm sorry?
Kepeth's
Kepeth
favor.
Favor. K-E-P.
Apostrophe
AT.
S favor.
Like the god of the sea, Kepeth.
Oh, okay. Kepeth's Favor. Got it. All right. Kepeth's Favor. So you guys came down on Kepeth's Favor, which is a beautiful, probably like a schooner or something.
Bonnie is just over the moon delighted.
You'd be delighted at the boat no matter what size it was. It'd be
That's
a
Not
true.
boat.
about the size of the boat, it's how you sail it.
I was waiting for a motion of the ocean, Joe.
Bonnie probably would have tried to avail herself of the captain too if they needed extra hands or anything like that.
You're like Hermione Grangering this whole shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's just like,
Not to be a pain, but this
What-
knot's way better than what you're using. You should totally just.
where was she made? You know, you should really.
It's a bow line, not a bow line.
So as you guys arrive and come down the ship, we're still in a fantasy world. So I think that we're still in the time when people would gather and wave to people on the ships, even though they didn't know anybody there. So there's a lot of that going on. It's just something to do.
Yes, waving.
So as you guys are arriving, there's kind of a little bit of fanfare as you guys are coming on, even though it's not necessary for you. It's just for, hey, we're excited, new shit is here, which includes people and stuff, and it's like the Wells Fargo wagon coming. You know, everyone's getting excited. All the shipments.
They're coming down
All the fake accounts.
That's another one. Good lord.
Hold on, sorry. I have one more thing. It's something special. Okay, I'm done.
Kepeth's favor.
Yeah, it's Kepeth's favor.
Trying to think what the opposite of prime is.
Even?
USPS?
USPS Megatron? Ah, true. That's true, yes. It's Amazon
Nice.
Megatron. All right. It just takes forever.
Amazon Omega.
So, that's what happens when you take a week off, Kyle. All the jokes go to hell.
We forgot how to funny. It's all your fault. All the funny was in his beard too. No, our funny was in your beard, not your funny. God damn it! That was wow. That was
You found it, Angela.
So I was a
If you-
child.
If you had a fake beard right now, you could just lift it up and put it on. That would be so perfect.
Yeah, and then my wig would go
Close
sailing
enough.
through the air with it.
So I was just a child playing with matches. I didn't mean to burn.
Love it. All right. So,
Only
so
you
Merrick,
can
when they
prevent
come
forest
down,
fires.
I assume you give him the package that it gave.
Mhm.
So Merrick, since you were not there to get a magic item from the new little closet that you guys have access to, inside this package is your share of the money, I assume, or at least they would give you that. They would also include your new badge, which is your new silver badge. Congratulations. Having heard with a little certificate that says we'd heard your mother has um, assured us that you have completed enough training to be considered for this badge. So here you go, and kind of hinting at a connection that your mother has with the Birchfield Institute that you maybe didn't know about, which also may kind of explain some of the other things that have happened recently. And
I'm gonna have to have dinner with her again. All right.
but overall, your mother, I mean, she has connections everywhere. Oh, by the way, during speaking of connections, during the time that you were working and coming back occasionally home while you were infiltrating and doing other things, Bonnie was spending an awful lot of time over at your house when you worked at your mother's house.
So much time.
So much time.
Just
Just hanging, like every time you went over
cooking in
there.
her kitchen.
And occasionally Arthur was there. So just wanted to put that out there. That was happening. So
Although Bonnie wasn't
no,
there
Bonnie
when
wasn't there
Arthur was.
there. So there's that. So anyways, they get
And your mom's been
then
getting flowers.
the last thing that is in this package is something for you. An item from the closet that Ig pulled out special just for you, but it is your choice, and you will of course get one veto here. And I think there was one item that was left in the closet that was from before that he could also have an opportunity to take. What was that?
Yeah, I vetoed it because I didn't think it would be useful for my character. It's a
You
black.
took the Velma, the elephant.
You know what? I like the elephant though, because it's an animal, so it's fine.
Velmafint?
The
No.
Velma-fint.
It's So the thing that I put back was a black metal feather, and it allowed you to mimic people. So actually, this might be good for you.
Oh,
Hold on,
like
let me look it up again. It
yeah.
it lets
Like a
you
Kenku.
talk to Kenku more readily.
Right. You
It
can
makes
understand
you
more of what they're trying to say as opposed to just
Yeah.
what they do say.
You hear their intent.
It can also
more than
occasionally it makes you speak like them, and then you can also perfectly mimic noises.
And speech.
That's what I,
I mean,
put back.
not like Kyle needs that, but now he can
Basically, it would give you an
I
advantage
didn't
in those
think I could
situations
do that.
to mimic
Yeah.
people's speech, or you could just make sounds and like animals and things that you would have heard. Has to be something you've heard while wearing.
I didn't think that would be good for me for various
Yeah.
reasons.
So you can describe, as we've done before, you can describe an item, just the physical appearance of an item, and I will give you the stats, completely made up off the top of my head, depending on what it is. You'll get a chance to veto that item, but if you veto that item, it's gone. You cannot go back to it. You have to take the next item. But I will, in either case, allow you to swap out for the feather if you wish. And he's frozen, and he's back.
He couldn't handle
It's all this attention on Merrick because he wasn't there.
And he's
Trying
frozen.
to
again.
upgrade the internet at his new home.
I'm sure he will. It's probably on his to-do list.
It's such a shame though that like this is a spotlight moment. It wasn't
Yeah.
like he froze in a different
It
spot.
always is a spot. Well, because he's turning on his mic a lot more and putting more data across. I bet it happens more often.
He's calling me a lot more, yeah.
They have the same number, but it's not him calling.
Do we want to place hold until?
Yeah,
he's-
let's place hold. I just He's pondering his choices. Oh God.
Ah.
Oh God, I got to do the thing.
Ready to shuffle.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Bonnie, stop being inside Mary.
What? Oh god. Tessa was really confused for a second there.
All right. Well, now I'm inside Mary. I don't want this. Merrick and I are inside each other.
You need to drop and come back. No, America's. There we go.
Everything is fine.
Okay, we're good.
The
Well,
internet
fine.
just had a connection fit.
How
So
are you?
apologies.
Yeah, we.
You know what we need to do is we need to do a big fundraiser because the software that will fix this problem is only $1,200. So let's put a fundraiser together. If we hit $1,200, we can never have this problem again.
There you go.
Oh, you mean the streaming software that lets you never
the
have
actual legitimate broadcasting software, yes, that allows everyone to remote in via their own channel and stuff, and we would never ever run into this problem ever again.
One-time use.
1,200 is forever. It's a
Like-
lifetime license.
that
My
sounds.
understanding. It's not. It was definitely not a yearly fee.
So
Just
what I caught was I can either take the feather or I can describe a new item and you give it to me off the top of my head, off the top of your
So
head.
you're going to describe an
Yes.
item. You're going to describe an item physical appearance. I'm going to tell you what it does
Got it.
magically. You can veto that item and take the feather or a different item. And then if the different item you describe and I give you stats on, you have to keep that. You can't go back to the first item, but in either case, you can swap out for the feather.
Got it. Okay.
I know it sounds complicated, but
No, that makes sense.
Merrick, come on down to the Price is Right. Dun, 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 dun.
No Amy, no Amy, no Amy. Stop.
We have to see your excited
Account-
face.
Yeah.
It's more
Thank
like
you,
deal,
Rylan.
no deal.
I think it
Which
was
briefcase
Rylan.
do you
You-
want?
Rylan, was that you that told me about that software? Let me know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So describe your item.
I should have been prepared for this. That's okay. Let's do it off the dome.
Oh, I really-
Let's see. How about it is a
A pump bottle of lube? Is that what you just? What was
Hand
that?
sanitizer. You know, I mimed scissors and I have a pair of scissors right next to me. It was kind of dumb.
It is a small piece of. Have you ever been to like a steakhouse that had those blacksmith's puzzles?
Like the
You know, with like the
metal
like
one?
the bent nails that you gotta like figure out and like unclasp. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that, but it's a bent piece of metal that as you turn it, the objective is to basically like a Rubik's cube, but it's almost more of a like I don't know, like a Mobius strip of color, but you're trying to get all of the colors to be in line with one another. I don't know.
Okay, so it's like basically rings of or parts of colored metal that kind of slide within one another, and you're trying to complete some sort of
Yeah,
Oh, so it's kind of like a puzzle
Okay.
ring.
kind of.
kind of, yeah, but they're all separate pieces and things. Okay, all right, I'm down for this. All right, so and you said is it a cube shaped or what shape is it in or do you what shape would it be in when completed?
It's more of like it's more of an oval shape, like egg shaped, and it just I don't know, it can change shapes maybe depending on the pattern that you want to do.
All right, no, I'm down for this. Okay, so the puzzle itself comes with a little thing of instructions that teaches you how to put it in order that will create the cube shape. And when you create the cube shape, you can drop it on the ground and it will turn into a little hut. Now, it's not magically protected or anything, but it does have a fireplace within it and can keep you warm for 8 hours. So it's a very tiny, very unsecure Liamon's tiny hut, but it's better and easier
It's a
than
tent.
dealing with a tent. It's a little more sturdy than that. It's made out of metal, the whole thing. It's thin metal, but it's still metal and it stays warm. It also says that there are other shapes that can be made with this, evidently, but no one's been able to figure it out or what they do. And so every day you can play with it and make some rolls, and we'll come up with other things.
I love this.
Okay.
I love this.
I like it too. I really like this idea. This is why we do it this way. I love this. Okay. As soon as you said maybe it could be other shapes, I was like, oh, I love this idea. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. So, what is that called, or does it not have a name yet? We can come up with something later. It would just be the blacksmith's puzzle. I mean, it could be something simple.
Yeah, I like that. It's
Okay.
just called the blacksmith's puzzle.
All right.
I just found like it was like at the was it in the package? Was it the
That was what the package was. Yeah. Mhm.
Got it.
Along with your badge. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So inside, there's also a note that says, I found these as well. Please enjoy them at your leisure. And inside there are 5 after dinner mints, after 8 mints.
After 8 mints?
Mm-hmm.
Are those like the soft ones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Are they different colors? No.
No, after 8 mints, I think they're the little chocolate bars, aren't they? Yeah, they're little tiny
little
chocolate
chocolate
bars, right? Yeah, they're
Andes
little
mints?
tiny. No, they're after 8s. They're
Similar,
They're-
different brands.
they're similar. They're basically a thin chocolate and then a thin layer of mint and then thin chocolate.
Yeah, it's like an
Layers.
Andes
Okay,
mint. It's
black-
just different.
It's kind of like an
That's
Andes
what I said,
mint.
an Andes mint.
I
Okay.
guess. I don't know. I've never really heard of an Andes mint. I've only heard of the
Kyle,
They're the
your
exact same
money
thing.
for the did you already get your money for the last arc?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tessa clued me in on that earlier.
And the hefty portion of Bonnie's money that was owed back to Merrick for this.
He bought her a Marco.
Pisha. Yeah, he's gonna eat one.
It is a tasty, tasty mint.
From his pocket.
Perfect.
Got a nice, cool,
I've been wondering
refreshing
about
flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Is it after 8 when he eats it?
I'm gonna roll for that.
8 in the morning, or it's always after 8.
I rolled a 2, so I don't know what that means.
It means
I don't
it's
know if
2
that-
in the afternoon. It is not 8
Okay,
o'clock.
there we go. Yeah, because we have 20 hours in a day.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's why it was afternoon.
Of course we do.
So the ship is going to be leaving in the morning, and I need to know what you guys are going to be doing tonight.
I'm avoiding Bonnie because she's on a tear. So where I try to find an area on the ship that Bonnie isn't going to come and like correct something.
We can't get on the new ship yet. I'm assuming we can't get that on that until tomorrow. So we'd actually have to find like a place in town, right, Lev? Or are we getting on the ship for?
No, you'll be leaving tomorrow morning. So
Okay.
you'll be getting on the ship tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay. Then we'd need to look for lodgings for the night, unless we want to stay in
I've got a
Merrick's new
place.
hut.
I mean, there's plenty of room if you like hammocks.
I think I'm gonna go
Hammocks are com-
for. I'm gonna go for an inn, if that's okay with you. Enjoy, but I need a.
Where do you recommend?
Well, there's a great place that has amazing French onion soup. Well, Elvish onion soup, excuse me. Down by the docks. They're great, and they have rooms up above the tavern, much like our previous stays. So they're pretty affordable, given that they're right near the harbour.
View of the water.
View of the water.
All right, that sounds good. What's this place
That's
called?
It doesn't matter.
We always ask ourselves these questions and don't give it like.
I
2
didn't.
minutes to think.
I didn't ask. I smelled the soup and I just walked right in.
Fair.
Works for me.
Chat, come up with a name for a place that sells French
The
onion
harbor
soup.
side. It need not be an onion.
It's called Shrek's.
What did I just say, Mike?
And in the morning, they make waffles.
Logan is not
Okay.
catching any of this.
You should see their
Heather
parfait
sold me.
menu.
No,
Oh
Heather
my
sold
God.
me on it.
I
Okay.
was doing research for the next part, hoping you guys were just going to quickly do this. But all right. I heard Shrek
No,
references,
we
though.
did.
We did it quickly.
It was very good.
It's
So where
called
did you
Le
say?
Shrek. It's called Le
Le
Shreks. It's called Le Shreks, and in the morning they make waffles.
Onions,
Good.
layers.
Yep.
Oddly enough, the owner is a gnome.
His name is Donkey.
Fancies himself a little bit of a sculptor.
Wait, he's a what now?
A gnome.
Gnome. A gnome.
Oh, a gnome. I think he's a nun.
You-
That's a bad habit.
You said Le Shreks, right?
Yeah. There you go. So it's gnome.
What? So, what type of currency do they accept? Shrekels is a good joke. I like Shrekels.
That was good. That was.
These ogre faces. It's really weird choice of currency.
Okie dokie. Here we go.
Artichoke.
Your ogres.
No, onion.
La Shriek. La Shrek.
Waffles for breakfast and parfait for dessert.
Yes.
Sounds like a good place.
And cake.
I'm all
They
for.
have cake. It's always a surprise, though.
The tagline is "Get Le Shreked."
Welcome to Le Shreks.
Wash your face. Wash your.
It's like a Chuck E. Cheese. There's like little... We're whalers on the moon.
Welcome to Le Shreks. Come and sit on down. We cut the onions, then we melt them down. Okay, I'm done now.
We spent the next half hour riffing and not actually entering. Yes, Autumn, I didn't mean to make it sound... Or no, Fennec, I didn't mean to make it sound like Five Nights. It did turn into a horror game.
I'm crying.
It's the onions.
So how much
It's
of that
okay.
is canon?
All of it. It is all 100% canon.
Everything
Their-
we say
their
is canon.
tokens are called Shrekels. They serve French onion soup,
Elvish onion
parfaits,
soup.
occasionally cake. They have games. They have little singing toys at the front of the front. It's all 100%.
Oh my god. What have we?
We made a Shrek Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, and you have to put it all in one.
Made it Chuck E. Cheese.
Shrek
God.
cheese.
No, that's what
That'll
they
be
call
the
the
spin-off.
topping on the onion soup.
Oh, Shrek
Shrek.
cheese. Yes.
It's their
That's what the soup is
their
called.
own private reserve blend.
The gigantic ogre costume dude running around.
There better be Gruyere.
Oh yeah.
Pulls out cheese from different parts of him and puts it on top of your food.
Oh.
We're
No.
taking it to
Oh,
the extreme if you really want.
No,
All right.
that's the line.
It's
That's
it's
the
like
line.
We found.
it's like he turns too fast, and it's just like an HR Puffin stuff costume, where it's like, like the top of the head just kind of.
It just goes spins.
Okay, so we go to Le Shreks for bedding down, and well, I mean it's like 2 in the afternoon for relaxing and.
For food.
You go for soup and parfait and soup and parfait and par soup.
Parsu.
Butter.
So yeah. I don't know how to.
So, we're sailing tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Any idea what the ship's name is? Have you been able to sneak a peek?
Nope.
No, they had that big, like, Bon Voyage banner thing out front.
Damn elf.
I don't speak
Uh,
Elvish, so I don't know what it said.
It means good journey.
I'm sure it does.
Adelaide snaps her fingers, and the scruffiest, most disgruntled looking little owl pops on her shoulder and becomes very enamored with the soup that she has. Yeah, it's just like,
Birds are social leaders.
Who's that, Adelaide?
They are.
I learned that from Bryce.
did you learn that? Yeah, I learned that from her today. Well, I felt like a parrot was a little on the nose for the trip.
Parlay. Oh, sorry.
I think I decided to call the little guy Winford. And the owl hops down.
Is it a family name or something?
Winston's.
Oh, yes. And his namesake would not be happy that I did it. And she has seemed to grown a little more accustomed to the idea of it being more than just a arcane curiosity. She started treating it a little like it's a pet. This is Bonnie.
Just in time to murder it.
Bonnie is immediately, of course, lovey scritches and
And it
anything
yells at
she
you.
can.
Merrick would recall that Winford is the name of Adelaide's little brother.
Right.
Oh, that name's
Wait.
probably engraved on the violin somewhere.
Probably. On the inside of the case.
There you go. Yeah, the case.
To our beloved Winford, we're sure you'll be a star. This soup is amazing.
Anything you need to do that night? Or you guys feel like you're caught up and
Adelaide flips through her book. She knows more spells than she actually casts on a daily basis, and it's just like there's too much. There's too much stuff. This book is.
Bonnie's
So,
just delighted
Merrick.
to be looking out at the ocean.
during that time, your contact, who will may or may not necessarily build later, we can reference it's just your contact for now, will drop off with you the equipment that you will need to be able to determine where you are on the map and kind of teaches you how to use it so that you will be able to determine when you need to get off and jump into the water. And he does caution you again that you don't want it to turn into a rescue thing, so you need to do it quietly, and then you need to get back on fairly quietly as well, although not necessarily as quietly. You can always pretend that you fell off then, and do be aware that it's going to be up to a week that you'll be off the ship, and there's a good chance people will notice that you went missing. So you need to have a good excuse for all of that. So something to just keep in mind as you get ready for your journey. Now, when you return home, you've got a couple of maps and scroll cases and a sextant. Bonnie, of course, is probably going to see that instantly and get very excited, considering you probably don't have anywhere to really easily hide all of that. But I don't know why you would, because Bonnie probably knows how to use it all. Are you familiar with shipwright tools or anything, Bonnie? Yeah.
Build them. I don't sail them. No, yeah, I'm sure she does.
Okay. So it is about a 2-day journey estimated, but he really had to estimate because he's not sure how fast the ship is. So it could be anywhere from 1.5 to 3-ish days, 3.5 days, depending on what they do. But the understanding is going to be fairly straight shot to their destination, which is a small island, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. It's a fairly ritzy island owned, or it's technically its own little country, but it's fairly wealthy, having that it has some valuable resource there, which again we'll kind of figure out what that is later. I don't want to deal with that right now, but that's where it's headed, and about halfway there is where you'll be jumping off to go and basically sink down to the bottom of the ocean, where you will then hopefully, if you're in a close enough spot, you will be able to see or find this city. But how you do that will be up to you. So
Bonnie will kind of surreptitiously just ask around a little bit around the port town before they leave, if any, using her father's name to see if he's been through this port any time recently.
So what's your father's name?
If anyone... I had come up with the idea of it being Finian Seaspray.
Okay. There are people that have heard that name. That's about as close as you get.
If she gets that far, she'll ask for any information that they
Just
have.
they
or where they
recognize the name and they're not sure. It's just kind of something they remember. Maybe it's just a common sounding name, something like that. Don't know.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. So the next day you wake up, the town is completely empty. Everybody is down by the dock. I mean, they're not completely, but there's a lot of people down by the dock. To the point where until you start showing your tickets off, you can't even get towards the ship. But once you start saying you've got tickets, some of the guard and some of the watchmen and things, they start to make a way for people to pass through and get onto the ship. And then you get to a certain point where you're kind of in front of this fenced off area, and there's still this huge crowd in front of you, and you realize those are the passengers. You're basically in line at this point. It looks like some of these people have been here for hours. In the middle of the night, they started to gather here to be some of the first on this kind of luxury ship, or at least to be here for what's happening. So in the middle of that, there's a little pomp and circumstance before they start letting people on. The mayor of the city is there, as well as the duke of the area, as they are christening the ship, and they do so with a very rare bottle of smush wine that was donated to the city as a gift from Ashport, and where most of the parts of the ship were created, and that it's kind of a dedication of the partnership between the two cities. After they break the wine, he says, "I would like to now present," and the banner just flips and kind of starts flurling down and waving in through the air as the word "the gigantic" appears on the side of the ship.
Huh.
Wow.
Bit on the nose, but all right.
Weird.
I mean,
flex,
it's accurate.
It's descriptive.
Again, not how big the ship is. It's how you sail it. But okay.
So you see that they'd like to. You see that the governor and the duke, the duke and the mayor, they introduced the captain, who steps up, and you see. Hold on, I actually have like shit done for this. They introduce him as Captain Smitty. The person before you presents as male. He's tall for a hill dwarf, wearing a light cream-colored peacoat over a white uniform. He has rich brown skin that has kind of an orange undertone, topped, and his head is topped with these black corkscrew locks that seem to fall everywhere except his face, almost like his presence just commands his hair to stay away. He carries the way he carries himself, confident and steady, feels reassuring for a man charged with the safety of hundreds. And he welcomes everybody on board as all of the ship's crew kind of jump up on the edge of the deck and the edge of the railing, and they all in kind of unison holler out "Bon voyage" in Elvish, and which is Elvish, and the gangplanks are all lowered and people are starting to board the ship.
I'm so excited. Open sea, guys, it's going to be amazing.
I mean, technically, we're going to be under it, not on it, for most of the trip.
But
Same
while
difference.
we wait, we can enjoy.
Fair enough.
So, as you finally, after about an hour of people boarding and making sure, checking luggage and things, which you don't have a lot of, which is kind of interesting, but nobody seems to really care because it's a completely different area to check luggage. you finally get up to the gangplanks and you're on board. It's going to be another hour before you even have a chance to start thinking about leaving port as they get everything ready and locked down. So you have about an hour. But as they explain, there's several areas of the ship that you can go to enjoy yourselves. There's a games parlor that you can go to. There is the main ballroom that you can go to. There are your quarters that you can go to, or there is the sun deck that you can go to. So you get to choose which of these 4 areas you'd like to go to, and you can split up for this. There's not going to be anything tragic happening. It will probably take you about an hour to find and explore one area. So if you want to explore more than one, you'll need to split up before the ship is ready to leave.
I feel like we need to start looking at what areas might be the best for us to get off the ship. Bonnie, do you know where that would be?
The side.
Is there a door under the deck?
Sorry, I apologize.
Screen
My
door.
son just got home, so I was split. So we had the games parlor, the sun deck, our quarters, and where else?
Games.
The
Yeah,
games parlor, the sun deck, your quarters, and the ballroom.
The ballroom.
Oh.
Okay. I would suggest we walk around the sun deck if you're looking for easy access. But if you're looking for surreptitious access, let's see, there should be craft.
Now, these are just the areas you're
depart the
allowed to
vessel.
go. There are other areas that you could try to sneak into, just as an FYI.
Might be easier to play along just until we leave the harbor.
Let's reach the point of no return before we start poking around where we.
That's what I was thinking. We don't want to be ejected or put into the brig before we even leave port.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering about the areas they'll let us see. I mean, the sun deck might have a lot of people on it, but should we at least go take a look?
Yeah, well, absolutely. There could be portholes and quarters as well. You never know. Maybe depending on our cabin, it might open. That might be a easily sneakable way out, depending on how large they are and how close we are to the water.
I feel like I'm unlikely to fit through a porthole.
Let's look at the sun deck first. Let's go obvious.
I was thinking about checking out the games parlor, see when that's available. What kind of entertainment? Maybe on the ship? Seeing if there's any rumors about the ship, about various, how the who the captain is, who the crew
Yeah,
are,
that's fair.
see who we can partner up with, maybe. And thank you very much.
Maybe
Thank
you
you.
could find a card game or something that's being held by one of the staff that you
Right.
could manage to get in on, because then you might be able to go to areas where they, won't let us go normally.
We can see if there's a game of hijacks above the ship. Probably shouldn't say that very loud. It occurs to me now.
No, you don't say hijack on a boat.
I mean, they should. I mean, right.
I might check out the ballroom, see what's going on in there, see if they have any. Sometimes there's like a little promenade you can walk around afterwards. So I'll see if there's like a little deck off of that.
Sure. So who's going where? I vote sun deck.
That's where
You
I'm
don't have
gonna
to
go.
all
I'll go with the sun deck too.
Right, I'll go to the ballroom.
3 sun decks, a ballroom, and the games parlor.
Games parlor.
All right.
Mhm.
So Val, Arthur, and Adelaide. The sun deck is one of the easiest places to get to because it literally surrounds the entire ship. So it's very easy to get up to this level. It is the level that looks like it has some sort of kind of tarp and fence around some area, like some part of the ship was not finished in time for whatever's happening.
the lifeboat area?
No, there's plenty of lifeboats all around. More than enough, you think. I'm not going to play that game. I may be hinting at it, but I'm not playing it.
You see some guy on the edge of the.
Don't get ahead of me. So But as you go around the deck, this is where most of the people are right now because they're all waving because there's nothing else to do to everybody down on the dock who is waving back because literally there's nothing better to do. So they're basically it's just a wave fest, and they haven't even learned how to do the wave yet, which is really horrible. Stop taking all of my jokes, Jesus. It's that's where most of the people are, and they're actually all on one side of the ship. This would be a tough level to get to the water from without rappelling down because it is a long drop. So it is you might take a little bit of damage, probably not a significant amount for you guys, but it could kill someone if they landed wrong, a normal person.
It'd be so tragic if we didn't have Featherfall to do.
Then yeah, you'd be fine. So this might be a good choice for you.
Or the ability to fly.
Out on this deck, there are plenty of places to be able to sit and relax and lounge. This is really a serious level of luxury that you don't normally see in a fantasy setting in any of the places you've been. It's just the idea of this level of luxury is a little bit obscene from some of the ways of the cities you've seen up to this point. Out on the sun deck, there's also some games where like shuffleboard and these sliding disc games and these life-size chessboard is out there, and just a ridiculously ostentatious use of space. It's just overly I don't know what the right word is, but it's just overly ridiculous.
Bombastic.
Gaudy.
Gaudy and bombastic. There's a term I'm looking for, but it's not going to come.
It's dumb.
It's dumb. It's a stupid use of space.
Extravagant. It's very extravagant.
Extravagance is the nice way to say it. Yeah, that would work.
Gaudy. Ostentatious.
No, anyway, let's not play the thesaurus game. Okay. So that's where
we're
the
so good at it.
But you haven't guessed the right word yet, so evidently not. Bunny, you are heading to. We're going to do you last. Merrick, you are heading down to the down one deck level, but towards the back of the ship, and you find that this is actually an open. There's part of this is open air as well, where they have several above on deck sort of dexterity based games like table shuffleboard type games where you roll balls and you do things, and some of them even have sand in them for certain types of terrain. These weird sort of table games out on deck. So if you want to play more of a competitive type sports, you can do that here. But they do say that these are obviously not regulation tables for whatever these games are because of the way the ship moves. And so there's they'd say player beware, and so none of these are official gambling tables, but they do welcome you to make any bets you wish with your friends. Just understand that there's a chaos factor involved in games like this. Inside, however, which there are right now, instead of all the tables have different foods on them and things. And there's a few people milling in here and just snacking a little bit who don't care to wave to people. But it looks like this could be several poker tables or other card games. There's some baccarat. There's three dragon ante. There's several different card games that exist here. In addition, there's some dice games and a few others. And yes, there's a couple of the hijacks games. They don't call it hijacks here. They call it some pompous name. And if you come up with something, let me know. But it's basically the same game.
Bitherly's game.
What's that?
Bitherly's game.
Yeah. The problem with it becomes that it's also semi-dexterity based. And so they do say that while it'll only be open during mild waters. But the large section of this part that's open air is still covered by another deck about 10 feet above you, but you still towards the back, you can get off the back of the ship. You could jump off there as an option, as it's as kind of open air, and there's a railing there, but it is open. Bonnie, as you head into the ballroom, this is probably the largest room you've ever seen on a ship. You could fit another ship inside of this room. There is a four-string quartet. There's a string quartet group playing in the center, and they're on a rotating fabric-laden stage. It's all this red, gaudy fabric. And there's patterned carpets throughout here. There's actually some gambling tables here, some stand-up gambling tables in here, along with a huge ballroom floor that surrounds the band itself. And there are more bars in here than you think exist in Ashport, which is probably not exactly true, but there's like 12 bars in this room. And you can see the doorway that leads to the kitchen. And Merrick, you also see a door that leads into the kitchen from your side. You're basically at the back of the same deck that Bonnie's on, except that Bonnie's room is 3 stories tall and has these big swooping winding stairs on all 4 sides. And it is ginormous. It's huge in this room. So you could you could shoot an arrow across the room and barely hit the other sides. It's really, really incredible.
She is
Sounds like a challenge.
just completely enamored with what's going on. Is the band actually playing, or are
Yes.
they just look like
They never stop.
she's probably she probably starts unconsciously swaying along with the rhythm, not really even needing to adjust much for being on, since she still probably has a fairly good set of sea legs. She just kind of is almost immediately enamored with it, and almost is dancing with herself as she's wandering around.
Okay. And there's a good amount of people in here as you're kind of wandering around. Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. The 3 of you on deck, Arthur, Val, and Adelaide, you hear kind of an uproar as somebody is getting on, or maybe several someones are getting on the ship. They're obviously very important people. You can't quite get to a vantage point to be able to see who or what it is, but you just hear that it sounds like something exciting is happening, and people are kind of like, oh, gasping and awing and oohing. And you think if we were in our modern age, there would be 1,000 cell phones in the air right now recording and taking photos, but you just can't quite see or what it is. Yes, Adelaide?
Can Adelaide send Winford up? Like,
Yeah, sure.
fly a little bit over what's going on?
Yeah. You want to send your
Adelaide's
drone
gonna
up?
put
That's
a
fine.
hand on. Yes, Adelaide's gonna put a hand on Val's shoulder, and just be like, "I'm gonna be a little. I won't be able to talk really well or see anything for a minute. Just, don't let me fall over."
Got it.
And
You could try
and she
sitting down first.
There's no place to sit down,
No, I don't wanna
really.
get walked
up
on.
here, yeah.
Is there any? There's no benches or anything.
Not really where you're at. Trying to look over who's coming up the gangplank.
Yeah. So Adelaide will honestly, Adelaide will loop an arm into Val's just to like make sure she's got a grip, and then telepathically tell Winford, like, can you do a little circle and
Yeah.
get a view of who's causing all the fuss, and then she'll
As
look
it
into
swoops
his vision.
over, as you swoop over and you see through the vision of what was the name again? I'm sorry.
Winford.
Winford. And Winford is flying down up and over the crowd. People are kind of excited that this bird is flying overhead too, in a good way. They seem to like enjoy
Adding some
the
pomp
idea.
to the situation.
And
Circle.
the first thing that catches your eye about this person is it's a green sparkle. You can see that for much farther than anything else you can see. As you come in closer, you see that this your eyes are drawn to the silver dollar-sized emerald pendant that this person is wearing. It's quickly you're kind of fade back and you look. It's a very innocent-looking young elf with ochre skin and a pressed ash brown hair pulled into a thick ponytail. She's wearing a modest sea green gown, which brushes lightly on the ground, and she's wearing a very subtle silver tiara. Give me a history check.
All right. I'm not bad at those.
Logan, out of character, are we adventuring later today, or are we going to be on this ship for a day?
2 to 3 days,
Yeah.
roughly.
So we're not jumping off yet. Okay.
Correct.
No. Oh god. That was an 18 total.
So while you're not exactly sure where this is from, maybe it's because you can't quite get enough look, or maybe it's just because it's very subtle. It's designed to be. But people in the know, people who understand such things, you understand the significance of the shape of this tiara as to mean that this person is royalty.
And she'll just mutter next to Val, looks like we have some royalty aboard. Also, I can't hear you if you respond to me, so...
You cannot respond to this
She,
message.
she looks at Arthur.
Yes, you cannot respond.
That explains a lot about the crowd.
Adelaide's eyes had gone like foggy gray at the merging with Winford, so she's got a little spooky factor going on.
Arthur, Val, do you guys want to do anything while you're up on deck there? Besides hold on to Adelaide?
No, nothing specific.
Not right now. I have got an idea for later.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Val pretty much just wanted to get a lay of the land and figure out, like, is this a good jumping off spot? And it doesn't appear to be, given the height drop.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't think so.
I'd have to heal everyone when we hit the water.
Probably.
Oh, it's such a shame. If someone had something that could do something. But
Not all of us have feather fall.
I think you can do up to 5 or 6 people.
Character.
Oh, that's true.
Up to
I
5.
forgot about that.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about it in character. It's fine.
I can't hear you right now, but I assume that you're bitching about the height. I got that covered.
If Merrick's there, tell him I'm annoyed. I don't know what he's done, but I'm probably annoyed.
All right.
Shoot.
So that is what was that?
Did you
Is that real?
did you push to talk
To
the
sneeze?
tail end of your sneeze?
It was in
What kind of
character.
pixie gasm
Oh,
was
okay.
that? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Well, now we
That's
know.
a kick-ass metal band name, by the way.
pixie gasm? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Pixie punk. So let's
It'll
let's
be a
fast forward a
fun
little
one
bit.
shot.
So you guys meet back up on deck after exploring your different regions. The ship is taking off. It is launching, and it becomes a huge fanfare. A lot of trumpets and fanfare from the docks as the ship, the Gigantic, takes its first maiden voyage as the largest luxury ship to ever be created.
Can you take a first maiden voyage?
Yes.
Does that implies you could take a second maiden voyage.
Can take a second maiden voyage.
With the right kind of feeling, you can.
Just
It
have to
depends on the
convert.
maiden.
My God.
I still ask.
Kyle. All right.
Now my brain is like, what spells would you even have to use to make that work?
Reincarnation.
Mending.
Wow.
Nope. You're fired. Off the podcast.
Val falls
Holy
off
hell.
It's
the
so
ship.
weird.
You,
My feather
Heather.
my featherfall only stops 4 people from plummeting to their death.
Yeah, there you go. Heather.
Somebody invokes charm and trouble earlier in the episode. This is what happens.
I did not expect it from Heather.
I did.
Of all people up there. Good God.
I did.
All right. Mending. Fucking hell. Okay.
Oh,
I'm delighted. I love you,
guys,
Heather.
once we get started, I have an idea. I could just, well, you guys could join me, but I was thinking we could walk around the ship and try to listen in on things.
Oh yeah, you guys check
Sure.
out the ballroom. It's incredible. There's like 11 bars in it, plus the music is phenomenal, and food and It's incredible.
Ballrooms are nice like that.
You could put a whole other ship in it.
That's pretty big.
Yo, dog.
With your 2 like ships.
She like water, so I put some water on your water. Pools on cruise ships always seem stupid.
Shall I get started?
Sure.
Have we
Presumably-
left? Are we sailing?
You are sailing. Yes, you guys are sailing now at this point. So you have some time. There's a series of events. There's people you can talk to figure out what you want to do. There's different stage acts that'll be going on. You guys let me know what it is you're looking to do, or if you guys want to explore any particular areas or whatever.
I'm going to just gather general information on whatever people are talking about.
Okay.
I'd like to focus on the woman when I'm doing what.
Well, that's the
Go ahead
general
and go with
information.
that.
So give me the check,
Oh,
Arthur.
okay.
And since other people are going to be assisting you,
well-
go ahead and give me a.
Well, first, I need to turn my shield into a drink tray that could fit on somebody's head.
I will not be
Like
using
a-
his
like a-
strategy.
like a graduation cap, basically.
And it has a strap.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right,
Next,
so you got a big drink tray with your thing.
Yep.
All right. I'm
the
down.
next thing I do is I polymorph into a stegosaurus and serve drinks walking around.
You really wanted to figure out how to get that stegosaurus into the game. We're going to the
Mhm.
ocean. This is your last
and
chance.
Aren't those taller than humans? What size are they in D&D?
Large.
So
Is
your head is
You
at
just see-
horse height, and you're
I
walking
can
around
only
with
be a
tray.
small one.
you just see the
that
dinosaur
true?
show up and all these people get shoved off board like
I'm going for the blow. I can't do a Tyrannosaurus Rex yet, but the blow up ones that's walking
Oh, they're
around.
huge.
I'm going for
Yeah,
that.
I got it.
Serving drinks out of my head because I can't use my hands.
All right. So you polymorph yourself into a tiny bad stegosaurus, with a drink hat, like the guy from the hallway guy from Fifth Element, so you are put to work serving drinks. Not a lot of people seem to bother you. Nobody seems to care. You'll need somebody to put the drinks on your head because nobody's going to know.
I
to
just go to
do
the
it,
bar
so I
and
assume
wait
you would
and
listen.
stand there.
You just stand there until they start. Okay. They start putting champagne and
Oh
things
my
on
God.
your head. Drinking seems to be the name of the game for the first few hours. For people, it just seems to be how people start. A lot of people went and put their stuff away, got their crewmen and running around with luggage and putting it away and things. That's giving it to people. So go ahead and give me a check. I don't know what it would be exactly. What are you thinking? Persuasion? No, I guess not. It would be perception, I guess. Investigation.
Perception.
Let's do investigation.
we're
Okay.
You're looking for
specific information.
yeah,
Or yeah.
specific information. It's good enough.
Total of 19.
All right, that's good enough. So you find out that the woman on board is pretty much the talk of the town. Her name is Tulip, and she is a princess. She's actually a princess of this island. She was here on some sort of don't give me that look. She was here on some sort of don't you give me that look either. Dignitary mission with some of the people in town, Ashport specifically. You're not sure where or who they were talking with, but they were here on some sort of diplomatic mission. They came over on a different ship, but they were very excited to be a part of this maiden voyage. Was there anything in particular information you're trying to gather about
No.
this person? Well,
I just mostly wanted to turn into
I got it.
a drink.
Adelaide, so you
dinosaur.
would have that same information. What was there anything in particular that you wanted to know? Like, was there any one piece of information like I'd really like to find this out?
Maybe if anybody, I would have served drink to maybe some of the workers to find out maybe a path down to the lower section, like a something they would talk about a section that they meet in,
Oh
or
yeah,
that they
yeah,
go to.
yeah. So they you see a lot of people like when the bar's like, okay, you got to come over here, come a little closer, and you're like, okay, I'll go talk to Smitty. Not Smitty. Smitty's the captain. Talk to Jeremy in the back, and they have you go through a couple double doors a couple times, and you can at least see kind of into the kitchen and into some of the serving areas, and you start to see different ways to get back and down into the thing. You also see that everyone's wearing very similar sort of outfits and uniforms. They're just very very traditionally waiter, but kind of with a a lot of black and with the white and little ties and things. They're like more like bolos, and they're kind of more fantasy stint to it. It's more like doublets and things, but it's kind of a very similar look. And give me a perception check. Remember using your Stegosaurus stats. I think. Don't you replace your stats?
I don't know what those are.
Passive perception of 10, so plus 0.
15.
All right, 15. So you do at one point end up seeing into an area that has outfits and things, that has the uniforms. Looks like it's a staging
Nice.
area for people who work there.
Okay.
So you do see that while you're in the back one time getting drinks and food put on you. As a matter of fact, at some point they start to just stick things to your spines. So like they'll just like stick whole watermelons onto you to have you kind of walk around like that. And then at some point, one of the other people out who are preparing food live, they'll take some of it off of you and then cut it up and serve it, Benihana style. Okay. So that was what Arthur was doing. Anyone else?
Adelaide decided to go the other direction as Arthur, both geographically, like I'm getting away from whatever he's about to do, and go to a different section where people are congregating and drinking. And she's going to at some point kind of go to a corner where there might be some room. She's going to glamour her armor. At least the, what do we say, 75% of it that can be glamored. She has a shoulder and a gauntlet that can't be, or like a sleeve that can't be done. But so she'll go for like a kind of like a military jacket,
Okay.
nondescript military jacket that kind of has a cape on one side, so the shoulder and the armor
neat.
are
I like
exposed. But just something to look dashing, and she just proceeded to kind of try to like kick the tires a little bit and get back into that mode of being able to hobnob with slightly higher stationed people.
All right.
And get a vibe for like, oh, what was that incredibly large emerald that woman was wearing, and who was she? And basically I wanted to learn a little bit about like the nature of the diplomatic mission. Like she's more interested in being like, it might be important to know what kind of people we might be causing trouble for on this boat.
Okay. So in addition to actually, give me a persuasion check.
Presenting itself on the boat.
Tabaxi butt.
Always. Tabaxi butt. Do 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 do.
Tabaxi butt.
Tabaxi butt. Do 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 do.
Tabaxi butt.
Tabaxi butt. Do 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 do.
That was just so presumptuous of Jake to be like, I'm gonna step in your way. Enjoy.
There was no invitation. It was, I figured out how to walk up here.
Walk, yes.
Jumped up on the piano bench and then walked across the desk.
So, Adelaide, give me a perception.
Perception check, sure.
No, sorry, persuasion.
Persuasion, not investigation. Persuasion.
Nope,
I'm talking to people.
You are actively talking to people, not just trying to sneak in.
13.
13. Okay, so you don't get a lot of information beyond what the similar information you got when you were kind of working around Arthur and kind of helping out a little bit. What you get is, the one thing you do get is that the emerald that she wears is called the Island Jewel. Very original. And that it is a representation. The people of that island believe that it's a representation of that island. Like literally, they believe that their island is alive, and that the person that is bestowed of this gem, they get to they speak for the island. sort of like a fantasy pope.
And she seemed very
But not
young.
necessarily
correct?
religious. She's extremely young. You would guess that she's maybe 30, 40.
Is the speaker of the island something that people inherit? Or
The
Or
gem is gifted to
elect.
different people, though you don't know how at
Hmm.
this point.
sure, I don't get that deep into it. All right.
It would be
Um,
improper to talk about in these circumstances, types of thing.
That's both religion and politics by the sound of it. So
While
Not
it is,
polite
while
company.
it might be spiritual, it's not necessarily religious. It's more government, but it is government through a spiritual means. It's almost like King Arthur getting the sword thrown at him. It's like okay, maybe
throne.
that's
Make
by
a
some
deck save,
watery
Arthur.
bint, yeah. Yeah, was that
Moisten's
that's our one?
bink.
Oh, well, you're right. It was voice. What was that? That was
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Holy,
But-
Holy Grail.
Don't forget, you have a couple that are just due today that you were saving up.
That is
Oh, I
true.
do. That's right. Well, I don't know. This
I
may
am
only be a
unsure.
role play session, so I want to save that for a
Yeah.
good. I want to save that for a moment that's really going to help you, and actually, that could help in the middle of some of this. So, we'll do that.
Sure.
All right. So,
I have my questions about whether or not just referring to King Arthur counts as a Monty Python reference. Did you say something
no,
specific?
the watery, yeah, the moistened bint. That's the hurling.
I didn't
because you
know
had a
that.
sword
Okay,
hurled at you
got
by
it.
It's a
some
watery tart.
watery tart.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly what it was. Yeah, it was something like that. So I definitely was quoting Monty Python. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so Val, Merrick, or Bonnie, did you guys want to do anything during this time?
Not specific. Val's just gonna hover and listen for information, so she probably doesn't find out anything different than Arthur. She would want to examine some other areas of the ship, just as she's mingling, to see if she can get a better spot that might work as a jump off spot.
Bonnie, anything?
Is there anything formal happening, like a dinner or something like that that's happening tonight?
Oh yeah, dinner is happening during all of this, dancing. There's all sorts of things. It's basically one big party from now until midnight or 1 a.m. and then tomorrow's all the big events start.
Yeah, Bonnie is going to get dressed in her Marcos and get her hair, do her hair up in like a kind of a mermaid fishtail braid, so it splays out at the ends, and is going to go into the ballroom area where it's all, I'm sure, very the like upper echelon, and try and either not necessarily keep an ear out, but try and make connections, which she's kind of just, maybe if this name was familiar to other folks, maybe they'll know it here, maybe, sort of, I don't know, just kind of schmooze the room, kind of try to ingratiate herself to these people she's never met.
All right. And Merrick?
I think Merrick would be looking for the ship's doctor, like the if there's like a hospital or a clinic aboard the ship. See if
There's
eh.
a couple of doctors and a couple of nurses on board, but they don't really have one particular place that they have. At least nothing that is public. So do you want
Got
to
it.
try to find an unpublic, like the place? Are you looking for something in particular? Are you looking for a person or something? Do you need your fix, Merrick? Is that what's going on?
No, but
She's got a fever, and the only cure is Bonnie's dress.
I wake up in the morning and I produce gold records. No, it's
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
impolite to say that you shit bricks. But I just did. Anyway, he's going to be. Damn it.
You're welcome.
Got me off on a tangent. Merrick has an idea for how to explain their absence on the ship, and it's more of a like trying to lay down the groundwork of getting that in place.
Okay.
Merrick, for the last time, we're not faking her death.
But we'd be so good at it. Okay. All right.
We
but
only have to be
before you head off
mostly
to do
dead.
that, or maybe
I do have
after you
access
head
to
off
a
to do
spell that lets me make it look like people are dead.
We're not doing that one. I would rather
so-
jump off the.
Merrick, Val, and Bonnie, as you are kind of wandering around in the ballroom, you see the Stegosaurus kind of flopping around, and you see Adelaide disappear somewhere. Before you guys start to kind of split off and do your own thing, you hear a voice. You hear someone speaking, and as soon as you hear it, it sort of commands your attention. And you hear this voice long before you see him. Due mildly to his stature, but more to his verbosity, his desire to hear himself speak. A roguish, charismatic gnome with short azure hair atop a very silvery white skin. He commands a lot of attention and builds admirers with every word he speaks. And if his voice weren't enough, his smile just speaks to you. It's almost as if Titania herself drew this smile on him. A very mischievous grin that would be incredibly difficult to resist for any person. As you sort of mingle towards that area, you hear him speaking about the ship more intimately than a lot of people would know. You would guess he's a passenger by the way he's dressed. He's dressed extremely well, in very, very fine clothing. But he speaks of the ship, he speaks about the building of it, and he speaks of all of the work that went into it. And from, like I said, an intimacy level that you don't really quite know. And several times you hear people call him Dak. So you would guess that would be his name. Merrick, you obviously seem to take a quick dislike to this person. Give me an insight check.
Competition.
That is an 18.
So you're kind of just looking over him, and you see that you can pick out the little details. You see that the way he's standing and seems like almost like it's hurting his feet just a little bit. And that's when you notice the way that his shoes bulge just a tiny bit. It looks like they might be too small for him. And the pants are just a little tiny bit too long. You think that they're not quite fit right, almost like they're a boy's, made for a human boy, as opposed to a gnome. Or a human person, child, I should say. Could be anyone. It's very subtle. These are very well clothes, but for somebody of that stature, for that level of clothing, you can tell that it's been custom tailored, just not for him. And you can engage or you can walk away. It does not matter. I just wanted to introduce that character, so you can then go off and do your own things, or you can continue meeting, or we can just move on to the next day.
I think Merrick would be intrigued by this person. You know, it's the kind of measure the cut of his jib.
All right.
Take it a dinner.
I mean, you don't just cut anyone's jib. Hello. Was wondering if you might have a moment. Rather intrigued by your jacket, as it were.
So he turns in to look at you, and he kind of grins. He's holding a champagne in one hand, and he kind of reaches into his pocket and pulls out this.
Oh, thank you.
This beautiful. As you do that, he just kind of, as he was reaching for his pocket, he just kind of reaches behind him without looking, takes another champagne off, and pulls it into his hand. Then reaches into his pocket, pulls out the. Hold on.
He's always going.
Oh yeah, he did that really well. No, he just but behind him there's like a tray with a few of them left there. He just seemed to have known where they were and was able to grab one. Pulls a small gold case, pops it open, and inside there are several cigarettes. Well, they're actually like little cigarillos. They're like little rolled cigars, but they're small. And each one has a different like colored band that seems to indicate its flavor. And he just kind of offers you one. My pleasure.
Oh, right. Well, perhaps one of the blue ones. Why not? The night is young.
And he kind of pushes. It looks like it's designed like there's a little lip, so he can push on one. It just pops it up. It's a blue one for you, and then he does one of the blue for himself. Bonnie or Val, do either of you look like you're with Merrick? Are you standing near him, close to him, as he's talking to this person?
Bonnie would probably be close-ish to Merrick, given her interest and new dating situation, but probably not trying to intrude.
Yeah,
Okay,
Val
then, yeah.
is probably trying to just look like a gawking passenger and not staying super close to Bonnie and Merrick because she knows that she is not sneaky and she's not good at lying and she's just going to let them do their thing and try to stay out of the way and get the information that she can.
Okay. All right. The name's Doc.
I'm sorry, the internet cut out at that.
The name is Doc.
Dak, right. Well, my name is Merrick. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Is that a Marco?
What was that? No, this is.
Honey's dress
just
bursts
an old
into
thing I had
flames.
laying around.
Such an outrage.
Well, it's a delight. It's a delightful cut on you.
It barely fits anymore
Oh, why is that? Lose a bit of weight?
because it's old.
Ah. Oh, it's a fine vintage.
And he'll not sure we measure champagne in vintage, but all right. He pops a lighter out of his pocket and offers a light.
Oh, sure, why not? Children don't smoke. It's bad for you.
Children, don't watch this. It's bad for you.
Your health.
Be watching this stream.
So he'll light yours and then he'll light his. It's got a very mild sort of berry flavor to it, but it's quite nice, quite pleasant.
Well, that's lovely. So what brings you aboard the Gigantique?
He does speak Elven all of a sudden.
Bonnie's trying to teach him tongues.
Whoa.
This and that.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Okay, then.
Just thought I'd go and see the island.
Right, the island. That is why I am also on this ship, is to go to the island.
Merrick, just then as he is sort of looking at you, you notice he kind of looks past you a little bit. And you're not exactly sure why. Do you want to look away, or you gonna make that big of a deal out of it?
No, I just follow his gaze.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. That is a 15 on the die, bringing us to 18.
So as you turn away and you see, just as you're coming out of his vision, he seems to turn away from you as you turn. And behind you see several people. You see the You see a few people who are passengers there at different class levels. You see a few of the workers there. You see Bonnie. You see Adel or Val. You see a Stegosaurus, but you think for a moment, glancing in your direction, was one of the higher up employees, probably the first mate, just like looking a little longer than he should have in your direction. Maybe not necessarily at you, but he's far away. It's hard to tell. And as you quickly turn back, you see that Dak has kind of turned away from you to face this planter that has this tray on it, almost as if I don't know. You can infer whatever you like out of that. What do you do?
This delightful berry flavor to this. Thank you for sharing.
And he kind of like turns back a little bit. His eyes like look past you at first, and then he kind of like looks back at you and seems to straighten his stance out to face you again. Yes, I've found them to be very delightful. Well, this is my first one, but this one is good.
Never tried these before. Oh, all right. Well, first time for everything, I suppose. Right. So, it's your first time on a sailing ship of this type? This
first time if anyone's on this type. This
right.
Is one of a kind ship.
Yes.
It's maiden voyage.
Yes, that. Right. It is.
What do you do, Mr. Merrick?
Lie, cheat, steal. On Fridays.
It's good to have a hobby.
Really, I'm quite good at it. Most of the time, I play games with my friends. Most of the time, I've gone spelunking recently. Had some tea. It was lovely. We harvested some mushrooms once. Went to a library.
That sounds droll, to be perfectly honest.
Worth an entire arc.
2 of each animal. That's worthwhile.
Except the unicorns, they scalp off.
Speaking of that, you hear. Thank you for the introduction. Off in the distance, you hear, oh man, oh, I love these big wide doors. Double doors in every room, nothing smaller than 10 by 10. This is the best trip ever. Trouble.
No,
Kill Bill.
Not anytime recently, no. He's just a bit of
a thorn in your side.
A horn.
A horn in your side. Damn it! I can't believe I missed that.
Well, enjoy. I'm sure that I'll see you around.
I'm sure that you will. He just raises his glass with the cigar too.
Cabin 237 if you're ever in the mood for a game or a drink.
I'll come.
I'm sure.
Did you give him your...
Yeah, I just...
Okay. So Merrick's the first to go. All right. So you go ahead and leave. Val, Bonnie, are you guys doing anything more you wanted to do or talk to Dak?
Nothing specific, just mingling.
All right. A couple hours later, how long does your spell last?
Oh, it's done. It's an hour. And I could cast it twice, so.
A couple hours later, you guys start to mingle back. Some of you went off to do other things. Did you explore any of the other areas of the ship, or try to? Or are you still gonna lay low for today?
No, Val was gonna look around, but she was gonna do it like a gawking tourist kind of thing. Like, wow, I've never been on anything like this, and just try to be, stereotypical clueless tourist type of situation, so that if she does wander too close somewhere where she's not supposed to be, she doesn't get in trouble per se. They just shoo her back away from it.
This is the first vacation I've taken in like 14 years.
Thanks for
Yeah.
making me a part of this.
It's the first vacation I've taken since I was 2.
Bonnie is pretty much just wherever there is music is where she is. Is it a steam-powered vessel or is it actually a sailing vessel?
It's a sailing vessel.
Then Bonnie might be spending some time topside as much as she can as well. Just if she can get anywhere close to the rigging, just putting a hand on it, just as a like, yes, I know this place.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem. You will be kind of told to be careful to not climb anything, but that you're welcome to look, and they're not going to stop you. They say that if we start hollering out, you need to step away. But it seems like they're very well tailoring to the curiosity of their passengers throughout the most of the trip.
Bonnie will grin and start shop talking basically with the sailors, and just like actually start like I
Great.
totally know what I'm talking about too, and getting it as much info as she can.
Okay, Arthur.
Yeah, as my spell is wearing off, and I knew where the uniform where everybody gathered to grab their uniforms. I'm gonna wait for a moment where there's nobody in there and grab 5 uniforms in a pile.
That's
what?
Go ahead.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
I'm gonna make slight little tears in all of them. Nothing major, but so if I'm questioned about what I'm doing with them, I'm gonna say that I'm mending. I'm gonna take them to get mended. They have holes, and I'll show them like little tears.
Okay. But you're gonna need to get into that room first. That's gonna be the first difficult thing. Do you have any clues on how you might do that without being seen?
Is it locked?
It doesn't look to be locked. No, there just seems to be a lot of traffic in that area.
I will. I'm going to silent image. Do not cross banner in front of the door, like a do not enter under.
Okay.
Broken or under maintenance. A maintenance banner, and then kind of slip in when I think nobody's in there.
Okay. Oh, you're pretty sure nobody's in the room itself, but there's other people in kind of this outer room because it's kind of a quarter between places. So you're just going to kind of judge when you should go based on kind of the traffic?
Yep.
Okay, give me an insight check.
That's not good. I haven't rolled yet, but I have a -1. 17.
Okay. Do you have anything that could not that that's not pretty good, but do you have anything that could aid you with this, or
Mage hand?
Maybe. All right. So 17 is pretty good. I was just curious if you had anything. So you
I have silent image, but that's just so nobody follows me in when I go in. I'm going to put that there, and then if I can open the door with my mage hand so that it's prepared, and so it's
good idea.
It's already so I can slip in faster.
So you kind of start watching and seeing the patterns of some of the people that go through, and then you kind of go, okay, seems like every so often there's this kind of lull. You just kind of wait for one of those and you just go real quick. It seems like the security and the waiters just don't come through here as much between songs or something like that. There's always something that kind of tips it off. So you head over, slip in without any issue. You grab 5 uniforms. Give me a. Do we have craft anymore? What do we have?
Usually
if I
it's
had
like a
gold for every time you've asked if we had craft.
Do you have tailoring equipment? Are you tailored? Do you use tailoring tools or anything like that?
Cartographers.
Shenanigans.
Subscribed. You had shenanigans. No one was bribed. Mayhem, magic, mystery. That's usually the vibe. Oh, thank you, you're awesome. 'Cause you subscribed.
Thank you for the subscription.
Rylan, thank you. Rylan, thank
Rylan TV. thank you so
Anonymous gifted Rylan. So thank you
you. Ooh.
both.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you,
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
And
Hi,
hello, Matthew.
Did I hear Matthew was here?
He
Oh,
is.
Yes.
Matthew's voice, right.
Welcome to Shenanigans.
Wait, is Matthew actually here, or is
Yes.
that just the sing? Oh, hi. Oh,
Yes.
Matt, there. I couldn't see it. Hello, Matthew. Matthew. Oh, there's lots of people here. Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. Chad's here. Chad had
Yeah.
a stroke. What?
He was watching on his Xbox, and all of a sudden that music
Oh.
started. I think it scared him.
Nice.
It did abruptly shake me.
It does. It does abruptly play, and it's a 2/3 chance it'll be Matthew, and a 1/3 chance it'll be Angela. And it's so
And another
good.
third chance, it's still Matthew.
Mhm.
I said 2/3 chance.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Matthew.
I heard the third.
All right.
All right. Arthur was sneaking in places. Sorry.
Arthur, so you snuck in. So give me cartographer tools aren't really going to quite kind of help you pick out clothing to
No.
fit people. Are you going to try to find clothes that fit well, or are you going to just err on?
You've subscribed. You tuned into Shenanigoons, and no one here was bribed. I tell ya, mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe. So strap in for Shenanigoons. You're awesome. You've subscribed.
Thank you. Best things ever. You missed 2 subscriptions.
Thank you, Anonymous.
I think I'm both the song.
I should
was
go
gonna
to the
say,
bathroom more
Merrick hasn't
often.
heard the new songs. Merrick hasn't even heard the new songs.
Oh, that's
all right.
true.
So
Break someone, do it again.
It's the only reason. Just subscribe so we can listen to music for the rest.
I will admit that I subscribed to a channel because I wanted to watch puppets sing a song. So
Felted
I'm still
friends.
subscribed to that channel.
Puppet
You're
is a
right,
dirty
Felted
word,
friends.
Logan.
It's a derogatory word. It is, but they're not made of felt. That's the problem. They're not actually felt. Well, they might be. I don't know, but a lot of them aren't. Okay. Yes, Kyle Shave.
What?
Yes, felted
Yes.
friends. All right,
Several
I'm sorry.
several people have commented on your shaved face.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
let's get back to
needed-
it. Arthur,
Yeah.
so that
so
Merrick could
are you
keep
erring
going,
on the
"I like-"
side of? Are you erring on the side of too big, slightly too big, or are you trying to find just right? You're trying to find Goldilocks.
I'm gonna try to find Goldilocks. Yeah. Why not?
Okay, go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check as you start to sift through clothing and try to judge people's size based on clothing you're seeing in before.
Just one.
Just one for everyone. Yeah, we're just gonna do a flat roll to see how well you do.
I rolled a 2. I have no bonuses. I have a 2.
So
Done.
you sat there for like a solid 2 minutes, like looking at them and measuring them. You find you easy. You're like, okay, this is me, and then you don't even think about the idea of comparing them to you. You're just like, and you just kind of grab some clothes and start tearing small holes in them, throw them into a laundry sack nearby, and you head out. And we're gonna figure out what sizes those are later. as you head back out, and I assume directly to your quarters to drop those off. So you're
Yeah,
not.
I'm gonna. It's late. I imagine that we're gonna meet up for dinner or something and gather. But I'll
Yeah.
put them in the room.
Well, I mean, you've kind of been eating this whole time, but yes, you are welcome to sit
When am
down
I
and
not?
eat literally any time you want. There's a constant 24-hour buffet going. It never stops. They stop once every 24 hours to change out the shrimp. That's about it. So, so that's yeah. So let's see here. Okay. So you take off and do that. So that's kind of wraps up your night. You guys probably at that point start to wind down and retire back to your quarters. The second day, it's you don't have to wake up at any particular time. Nobody wakes you up. There's no weird sounds. The rooms are fairly quiet. You're all right next to each other, all five of you. Actually, you're probably three on one side, two on the other side of a hall. Neither one of you, unfortunately, have outside. You're not on windowed views. You're on interior views. But who cares? You can just go outside. It's not a big deal. The rooms are clean. You're pretty sure the doors are wide enough that even brindle hooves could fit in here. There's no issues at all with any of that.
Don't fight brindle hooves. Adelaide spent her evening in what she assumed to be like sort of a quieter, darker, loungy sort of place, not the ballroom. And had a nice cup of tea, read her book, and when she went back to her room, she probably started a fire hazard with a little brass brazier and some incense and stuff. See if the porthole opens to let the smoke waft out a little bit. And she casts Find Familiar again to make Winford a little more good for the trip. And he comes out of that circumstance as an octopus. Because he will need a swim speed to do any good at all. So she's kind of weirded out. It's not a good look on you. And just lets him hang out, I guess. Doesn't immediately make him go away until she has to leave the room next.
Bonnie is up with the sun. She's probably listening for ship spells, which I'm sure probably don't reach into the cabins, but she's, still listening for it. And for her, it's more of a comfort of home kind of thing. The routine of ships and sailing. So she's changed into much more functional attire for sailing, basically, even though she's not crew.
Sure.
And if she could convince them, she's probably just lightly kind of just sitting in the rigging. If there's no one around, they'll let her just kind of sit and watch the sunrise over the sea.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys wake up and you guys probably go to one of the breakfast buffets. There are 3. And then you've got the rest of the day. You probably don't need to do anything today. So my question to you is, what do you do? What activity, if any, do you want to partake in, or how partake in? That was a weird way to say that. Partake in, or how do you want to spend your day?
When are we supposed to jump off the ship?
Tomorrow. Probably with the way
It'll
you're
be at least
going,
another day.
Bonnie and Merrick, it'll be at least tomorrow midday, you're thinking.
Adelaide would have wanted to make sure that we had some time scheduled today for all of us to get back together to make sure everybody is on the same page about what we're doing tomorrow. So like a little powwow time scheduled in the day, maybe later in the night. Maybe like let's all have dinner together so that we all know what we're doing tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Now dinner buffet is served from
Yeah.
about 3 p.m. till midnight, so you'll have to schedule.
So we pick a time. I give everybody the full day if they have plans, but is there a spa on the boat? Like
There, oh yes, there is a spa with masseuse
okay.
and manis,
Goats.
pedis, hairs, the whole thing.
goat yoga.
No
Goat
goat
yoga.
yoga.
It's
They had to eat
goat
the
yoga
goat.
on a boat.
It's goat yoga.
It's
on a
boat
Yeah.
goat.
Yeah,
Both
Val
goat
for
yoga.
sure wants to go to the
Oh, so
spa and get
good.
a massage because that sounds awesome.
Okay. The only thing that they don't
That's
have,
how Adelaide and Val spend their day.
they don't have. Oh, couples. Okay, so you guys could get a couples treatment. If you guys want to be in the same room, you get a call. You'll need to get a couples treatment. So, it's a weird term.
Not
Val
good.
wouldn't
They have
care
double-
if it was cheaper.
Well, you don't.
It was
At all.
cheaper.
It's all included.
Yeah, you can have your own space.
So the Birchfield actually shelled out money for us to do something.
Oh no. It's just included with the ship. All right, so you guys go and spend your day at the spa. At one point, the two of you, even though Adelaide wants her own space, the two of you will find yourselves in the same mud bath, because they change out the mud with each group of people, because that's the only way you should do it, and they clean it.
Where's all the mud coming from? We're on a
It's-
boat.
Magical.
Taxi.
It's a kitty litter bath. It's clean kitty litter, but it's a kitty litter bath.
Oh, so
Um,
it's like those beds of red clay balls that you lay on, and they're like
My,
heated, but it's all kitty litter.
Yes, it's all
my
kitty litter.
desk is vibrating with the force of his purring. Like the desk is just vibrating.
So the two of you end up finding yourselves together in a mud bath. What do you guys talk about?
Not work.
Really?
There's
I feel
other
like that's all
people.
we have in common.
But if there's other people, it would be problematic.
There's no other people. It's just the two of you.
Ah.
So you guys came in together at
Adelaide-
the same stage of the process.
Adelaide lets Winford out of his little place just to see what would happen if you put an octopus in a mud bath. Have fun.
Just starts sinking.
Eight legs
little octopus
are
angels.
reaching up. They look like little worms coming out of them.
Is he supposed to swim like that?
Probably not. She'll lift him up out of the mud. So how are you feeling about all this, Val? You have your own preferences for loyalties and such. I mean, what? You're still hanging around just because of us, or do you actually care about what we're doing?
I mean, so far, okay, maybe not the, having to go to the Underdark and get the book thing. That one probably wasn't as much doing a good deed for people necessarily, but we did good in Alaris. We got Susan the Lesser out of a crappy situation, and now she's happily married to a guy who's very sweet and loves her. We got I don't actually know if Susan the Greater is better than her father as a leader, but we changed things. And, now we're going to go help people that are being attacked by a group. I mean, unless it turns out to be like the whole Lindquist thing where actually the attacker is a nice person, and then we have to figure out how we're going to make everything smooth over. But that's a whole different story.
You mean plot twists? Like we don't have those every time.
Yeah, well. But yeah, I mean, I see what your point is. Most of the things we're doing don't go against anything that Wayuna teaches. She cares a lot more.
We'd lose two of you if that were the case.
This is
Well,
true.
actually, do we know that Arthur worships Wayuna? Do we have any of that information, Mike?
I thought we did.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's okay. I didn't know if that was something he shared openly.
You guys would know that.
I mean, honestly, she cares more about what happens after you're dead. So as long as I don't let any of you
All right,
actually
so we
die,
just
we
have-
don't have to worry about anything.
I was gonna say we just have to go on a few more missions, then you can check with her.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like I'm raising you guys and turning you into undead followers or something. So there's usually not too much of an issue. Merrick,
I
sometimes
really appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't want to do
Thank
that for the
you.
record. Merrick skirts the line sometimes with some of the things he does and whether he'd go to the plains or the fields, but he has a good heart. So I think some of the time, at least, his heart's in the right place. I hope.
We'll see. At least he didn't. He seems on the level, as much as Merrick can be on the level, with us. That was not a short joke. That was a criminal joke. Do not make that face at me. Yeah, I think Adelaide just overall on this takes the opportunity to kind of get a gauge for Val's investment because she hasn't really pinned Val down yet. Everybody else she at least gets a vibe for. Merrick seems to have organizational reasons for wanting to stick around, being connected. His mother probably, in her opinion, his mother probably has something to do with him sticking around a lot. Bonnie is the rest of the reason. Bonnie likes the adventuring aspect and the helping people. Arthur seems to just go where the wind takes him, and but she had no real sense of where Val was coming from with all of this. She's just been sort of there always, and made Adelaide wonder why.
That's fair. I mean, the other thing is too, honestly, other than when we're sent out on missions, there's not a lot to do with the knights unless I want to sit there and do paperwork.
What, you don't like paperwork?
Surprisingly enough, no. I'm sure that's a shocker.
I still feel the paper cuts from
that
library.
That library.
Sometimes I just wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat going, oh God, collating.
You know what? You weren't having to muck out phase spider stalls. Trust me, that got a little hairy.
So the phase spiders were invisible. Does that mean that everything was invisible? Like, did you have to guess where you were shuffling?
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Well, I mean, it's not like it was huge piles of stuff like with horses. It was smaller. But so basically we just scooped and shoveled in like a grid pattern and got rid of everything. But the problem was the webs, because you couldn't see all of the webs either. And of course the lighting down there was horrible because, it's the Underdark. I think I ran into like 6 different sections of the webbing at one point.
So yeah, I think that would be the tenor of Adelaide and Val's convo. Is sort of a mix between delving a little deeper and not talking about anything important.
Merrick is trying to find the best place to get off the ship.
Oh, still? Okay. So what are you looking for exactly?
Probably a sea level crew hatch or something that's above sea, just above sea level, like the gangplank where we originally entered the ship, maybe.
That actually is takes you up to basically the same level as the level that you found that the ballroom and things are on. There is one, as you kind of explore the ship a little bit more and occasionally kind of push the limits of leaning over the edge, you do see that there is one more sort of railing level below you that would be some sort of cruise level for them to be able to get out onto a deck and things. So you're not sure exactly how to get down there right now, but if you want to explore that, so you can, absolutely. Is that what you'd like to do? You want to you want to break break the wall there and push past the point of no return on if you get caught? I mean, you could probably fake your way out of it, but I'm just saying that you'll be being scrutinized a lot more if you start just wandering around below deck.
Yeah, I figured that you get one. You might get one depending on where you're caught. What?
I think I would have told you about the uniforms at some point.
Okay. we'll take a quick look and see if there's a me-sized uniform. But really, I mean, we've seen a lot of points of egress from the ship. Merrick is more interested in getting back on the ship. Whether it's going to have to be some sort of like, oh God, we fell in the water. Thank goodness that you saved us. Like type, mirrors flashing, please help, smoke signal type thing. Or if it's going to be like surreptitious, like we were never gone.
You would say that the potential probably exists for both. The idea that anybody could disappear on this huge ship with all these people or just stay in their quarters or something, unless they were specifically being looked for, you could probably get away with that. You would just need a way back on the ship, as you said. And one of the easiest ways would probably be to get to that lower deck, maybe via grappling hook and rope or something. That would probably be the easiest. Or if somebody could fly and tether a rope and take you guys up there.
Cool. Yeah, he's just casing the joint. He wants to make sure that he has got all of the avenues of escape and ingress and egress.
So you do want to go down to the lower level, though.
Yes.
Okay. Do you use one of Arthur's disguises to do so?
Yes.
Roll me a percentile.
Okay. One moment. Now would be a terrible time for the Wheel of Causality.
Dun, dun, dun.
That is a 60.
60. Okay. So about 60% of the clothes fit. The rest are just various different sizes that just don't work for you. Nothing fits any better than that. So you got to think that everything is either one size too small or one size too big. It's very obvious. You can choose which pieces end up fitting, but you think maybe you've got like a shirt and the gloves, or you've got the pants and the shoes, or some set like that.
Got it. Well, as I'm thinking, if I can get a shirt that's too long, I can roll the sleeves up.
It's not just too long; it's big everywhere.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, it's obvious it doesn't fit. You look like a kid wearing their parents' clothes, or you look like something shrunk in the wash.
Then I'm gonna go without the disguise. I'm just gonna go as a passenger.
Okay. All right. So you just go as Merrick, and you start to head down past some steam, not steam, some doorways and things. Give me a stealth check. Okay. Now this is going to be an overarching representation of your stealth while down here, and kind of just avoiding the gaze and of the different people that are down in this area. Not necessarily that you're stealthing the entire time, just that when you need to, you can kind of duck and dodge and dip and dive and dodge.
And wail.
That was two references in one.
It was.
Yeah. 21.
All right. So yeah. Now, at one point while you're down here, you have a choice. You hear some giggling. And you can either kind of go and inspect that giggle and see what's going on, probably fairly stealthily. You've got a great location here. Or you can avoid it and just go and complete your mission right away.
Ooh, you got me with the curiosity. Yeah, he's going towards the giggles. Rolled a 3 on that one.
As you are kind of peeking around a corner, give me a perception check.
A perception check.
Yeah.
That was a 20. And the music's off again.
Ooh, I am so sorry. So as you come kind of peek around the corner, the giggle that you've heard is Dak. And as you kind of peer around the corner, there's this very nice cabin, and not incredibly nice, but a nice little cabin. It actually looks more like maybe some sort of break room, but it seems like every room in this place is well furnished, carpeted, and this one seems to have nice wood paneling on the walls. It's got this couch on it, and Dak is laying naked on the couch, and across the room, with their back to you a little bit, is Princess Tulip, who is sketching a picture of Dak.
I just got Dak.
Just got Dak?
That's awesome.
I got the tulip one. I just didn't.
That's phenomenal.
Merrick's taking notes, apparently.
Game on. All right.
Game recognizes game.
Be day. All right. Yeah, he's gonna move right along.
Moving right along. All right, so you go and you complete your mission, and you find that yes, it's actually there's a couple of fairly easy ways to get down here through just a single door and a staircase to be out on this deck. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people using this deck. There's no stealth. There's no. It basically looks like it's used for certain types of maintenance and certain types. And when you're docking, other than that, you don't think anybody will be out here. This might be the perfect way. It's about 10 feet off of the water. Maybe 12 feet off the water. It would probably be the perfect way to do it. As a matter of fact, there are also on towards the front and towards the rear of the ship, there are already ropes that are tied off and coiled and bundled there. You could probably use those to your advantage in one way or another.
Cool.
So you have found it.
Perfect.
Val.
Yes, I'm at the spa.
Oh, that's right. Bonnie.
Move along.
Are there any
Mhm.
sailing related activities that can be done, or like competitions or anything like that? Just little.
No, but you can recommend some things if you had something in mind. Basically, this is like I said, they tailored to the curiosity and the whims of the people. If you wanted to take sailing lessons, or you wanted to just help sail the ship, you could be put into a position of being put to work in a luxury type role where you get to do it until you're done with it and you don't want to do it anymore, or just some of the easier jobs and the fun jobs. You don't do any of the crap jobs, but you could absolutely. You could even go up and visit with the captain and steer the ship if you wanted. Pretty much anything you want.
Bonnie would like to visit the captain, and then take either a sailing lesson or ask if she can work in the rigging for a little bit, so she feels
Okay.
A bit at home.
Okay, so you go up and you visit the captain. Is there anything in particular that you want to speak with the captain about?
She's she grew up building ships. She is a shipwright. So she'll talk a little bit about, she's very curious, she knows it was built in Ashport, and she'll talk a little bit about
Hartsworth. Yeah.
Growing up in Ashnar's Tooth and talking about the different type of ships.
So as you talk about Ashnar's Tooth, he actually talks about parts of the ship having been built there.
She gets really excited.
And if you'll forego your sailing, he will actually take you down and show you the different parts of the ship that were made in Ashnar's Tooth, and take you on a deeper tour of the ship.
Absolutely.
That you wouldn't get to know. All right. So he does that. So he takes you around and shows you various pieces of the ship. I don't know what they are, but you're welcome to make some stuff up. But he shows you around, and you can actually get a deeper tour of the ship and the inside and everything, and where they store the food and pretty much everything. The captain seems to have taken a liking to you, being a sailor and coming from more humble origins than 99% of the people on this vessel. But coming from a humble origin like him, he came from nothing and became involved with the Birchfield, and then became involved with this sailing company, this charter company, and now he's the captain of the ship. So he talks a lot about his heritage and his background in being raised, and you guys connected really well on that level.
Awesome. Yeah. At one point, she might name drop Finian just to see if it pings any bells, but she just kind
He's
of.
never heard of him.
Yeah, it was worth a shot.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's never. You talked about him being a pirate prince or king or whatever.
Not mention
Okay.
the pirate part of it.
Got it.
Just that he's a sea elf like Bonnie and
All right. No, he doesn't. No.
she figured mentioning pirate to the ship's captain is not, something one does.
I descend from pirates.
Arthur.
Showing me your ship's insides.
Mhm.
Love that you've subscribed. You tuned into Shenanigoons, and no one here was bribed. I tell ya, mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe. So strap in for Shenanigoons, you're awesome, you've subscribed.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you,
Squiggly.
Squiggly.
Squiggly 316
Was a Charm and Trouble
Thank
fan.
you again. Oh,
Or she. I don't know, because you're
we should.
they.
They were a
they-
Charm and Trouble fan, and we should get some Charm and Trouble doing a song for us.
Oh, but will our audio sync?
Probably not.
No, I'm not saying right now. I'm saying for the subscription.
Yes.
We should put an audio-
We should
Oh,
have a
yeah.
Charm and Trouble one, yeah.
All
We
right,
could do it with the
It would be
original
very-
melody.
Very naughty.
that'd be fun.
Yes.
Have you met the show?
Da-da-da-da, Shenanigans. Da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da.
All right. It is he. Thank you for that. We're sorry about that. Squiggly 316. I love it. All righty. So let us talk about Arthur. I think Arthur was the last one that had not had a chance to do anything today. So Arthur, how do you spend your luxury day if you want it?
He just relaxes. He's gonna go from buffet to buffet. He's
Parrot
gonna eat as
Pilates.
much food as possible. He's gonna see if there's a
That is all
museum.
the
He'll
food.
visit that.
There's no end of the food of this place.
Yeah.
Arthur, unless he has some sort of disability that makes him always hungry, Arthur will get his fill at this trip.
Sweet.
The land of buffets. Dun, dun, dun.
But you literally can go from one buffet to the next and just be like, I'm done with seafood now. Let's go down to steak. Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much what he does. And he reads from a new book that he brought for this trip. And it is Much Ado About Milk Bones,
Nice.
courtesy of Autumn.
Perfect. Thank you, Autumn.
Very
Much
nice,
ado
very
about
nice.
milk bones.
And
I
yeah,
love
he's
it.
just reading,
Puppies of Mystery.
wandering. Yeah, it's one of the Puppies of Mysteries.
Excellent. Okay. So that is your day. You guys relax, you enjoy, you get to know each other better, you get to make some friends. And that is it. That is your day. It's or you get to accomplish your mission and voyeur on some people. That is your you lingered a little.
There was a linger.
There was a linger. God, what is that from? Is that from I don't know.
It's the cranberries.
Not that. No. That's a very different. That's a very different
was a-
linger.
It was a modified Firefly joke.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
The
Okay,
word
I
wasn't
don't remember.
linger,
Mhm.
but yeah.
I thought it was Seinfeld reference. Okay. So it
Oh.
is the following day, and you guys only have about half a day, a little less than half a day to prepare. You're guessing you need to be off the ship around 10 o'clock.
I pass out the rest of the uniforms for sure.
Absolutely. Everybody roll me percentile.
Including me again?
No,
or
you got 60.
Mine fits perfect.
24.
Okay, that's 84 total.
Oh,
4.
4. That's a okay. So Adelaide, yours is already decided because we already got the other two rolls. So
Oh.
yours is let's see, 88. So minus 100% is 12. So yours is 12%. So that's about all together. You have about 100% that might fit you in individual pieces. Unfortunately, the rest just don't. So all together, you have uniforms that don't fit. That's basically where you are.
It's all right. I'll just pretend mine's a bolero jacket, and it's fine.
I can just
Oh, yeah. Adelaide has
Can-
disguised self.
Can
I'll
you
just make
use-
one.
Can mending fix this?
It's not,
Oh, the
it's not broken.
tears?
Yeah, the little holes.
There's,
in
yeah,
there.
there's no hole in it anymore.
Those were on purpose.
If we cut off enough material to make it fit us, can mending fix
No.
the edges?
That's
Tailors,
construction.
yeah, I think they just-
Hang on.
It's called mending, not tailoring.
That should be a cantrip.
Don't cast anything. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And she reaches out to Val. About an hour before we leave.
Okay.
She reaches out to Val. Invisibility.
That'll work.
I did find a kind of a secret way, off the ship and back on the ship. So
Oh yeah?
All right.
that's good. I can lead you down
Great.
there. But Merrick's going to want to take a look at the equipment that they were given by the Birchfield, since we haven't done that yet. What did we
We did.
get as far? Did we?
Yeah.
Well, we did in the last episode. You didn't.
Oh,
You took
So,
yours
refresher.
with you.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going.
then
Go to
Kyle's going to take a look at the equipment that we got from the.
Go to
Okay.
the handy dandy notebook.
So we're each given a potion to take when we dive off the ship, which I'm assuming is some kind of water breathing, so we don't die.
When you were told it would
Um,
last for 1 week.
And we got 4 bracelets that will let us move normally. So basically, oh god, what is the spell that my brain just forgot?
Freedom of movement.
Thank you. Freedom of movement. We were also given a pile of sand dollars of varying sizes, which acts as the currency down there. And that was it, pretty much. That was our mission kit. And then
Did we-
the shipwright stuff and the sextant and whatnot and maps that you guys were given to make sure we get to this right spot.
Which is what you're using to do that. That was more just, I'm not going to make you guys roll skills or anything. That's just kind of what you've done.
Right.
Okay.
Well. Yeah. Perhaps.
When you- After we get down there and you guys understand a little bit better about how the system works and everything, you'll find out that it's about 400 gold worth of these sand dollars. The equivalent, because we're going to call it gold while it's down there, but you'll be using your sand dollars. And your gold will basically be worthless unless you find the right person.
Okay.
Yeah, Bonnie will use disguise self to
Sure. So you guys all get prepared and you guys head down. Merrick is going to take you the back super secret, double secret way. As you guys are coming up onto the deck and going to be heading across and down, you see 2 people up at the front of the bow of the ship, standing there with their arms outstretched wide, doing some goofy, weird shit, of course. You recognize them as Dak and Tulip. Of course, Dak is the one in front with his arms stretched out. They look
They don't seem star-crossed at all.
look cute together.
Dak also, by the way, today is not wearing anything fancy. It's just kind of normal, everyday sort of clothing. As a matter of fact, some of the similar clothing he's wearing, you've actually seen some of the for those that have been down in the bowels of the ship or behind the scenes, you've seen some of the off-duty people wearing similar clothing. So you almost think that Dak might be somebody who works here on the ship. I'll be clear here.
Aiming up.
When I am creating an entire world around a reference, those references don't count for the reference thing. And that includes yours and mine.
Yeah.
It's somebody's trying
Yeah.
to call me out on references. It's like, no.
Yeah.
That is not the second reference. There's been about 50. Go back and watch them. There's a lot rolled into this one. All right, so you guys start to head over to this area, and you sneak down into this one doorway and a single staircase, and then through the portal, the porthole out to the not portal, but it's a heavy door out to the walkway, and you're there. You're on the walkway. You could easily just kind of hang off and fall into the water without taking any damage. You are moving kind of fast, so you better be ready because you're not going to be able to get back on the ship once you go.
Should we throw a couple of these ropes they have into the water so that we could use them to get back on, or will they?
Right.
I don't know if
Yes,
they'll
Well,
still
remember,
be
they're
there.
going to dock during that time. They're probably going to use these during the dock so there's a chance they will be back up. The question would be, do you want the evidence that something has happened down here to be left?
No.
Yeah, I think we can manage to retrieve if they're in the same location when we get back. We can probably get a hold of them.
I think I have to mention
bit of
door
distance.
as an option.
I can fly, guys.
That'll also
Yeah.
work.
Folks.
You also have your
Folks.
owl that could probably unfurl one.
Oh yeah.
I can climb.
Probably my rope might be able to jump. I don't know if it can. Can you kaboing off water?
Solid water,
Mhm.
sure. It's called ice.
If it's going
I
fast
gotta go.
enough.
Ouch.
There's none of that around here, though.
I have water walk.
We'll make it work. Yes, we'll make it work.
There's some
Guys have a
drinks.
If you have water walk, anybody that's a medium could just literally climb onto the ship. If it wasn't moving super fast, that's going to be your problem. If it's moving full speed,
It's like
It's gonna be
trying to
hard.
get. It's trying to catch a bus.
yeah.
Like while it's moving.
Water skiing 101 as you're pulling yourself up the. Right.
Drink up.
Potions. I would have made sure that Val had her potions and everything before I turned her invisible, so we didn't have to like worry
Okay.
about getting.
Has
Val
anybody
an
else eaten
invisible
any of those
potion.
chocolate mints? You've been here for a couple of days. I just wanted to check.
I wasn't
No,
offered them,
No.
but I would have.
No, I
Would
don't think I did.
not have eaten.
Okay.
Now I'm worried.
Same.
Just curious.
As you should be. Don't take candy from strangers.
It was from
It was
Egg.
strange.
Pig,
And
which is even worse,
is
actually.
he not
Yeah.
strange? He's the strange.
So, Merrick, you've been hanging around for a day and a half, wandering around, hiding in boxes and things. Didn't cross your mind to grab another one and bite into it?
It was no, because
You
I
didn't
mean
like
he's
it,
got.
right?
Oh no, I do enjoy minty things. It's more the fact that there's the taffy candy, which has wild magic. There's the drink umbrellas that will kill people outright, and then there's minty chocolates that came from who knows. That do what? No one knows. You know, but I don't. So, thanks God. No, I'm not going to eat your chocolates.
All right.
Your god chocolates, your chaos god chocolate.
Well, basically, what you're saying is that my Godmobile is a van that says free candy on the side.
Oh no!
Aw.
Oh no!
All right, moving on.
To each their own.
No, I don't think to each their own on that one. I think Diana Fire is more appropriate for that one. All right. So you guys have taken your potions. Nobody has taken the chocolate except for Merrick once. We'll need to keep track of that. Who has those other pieces, by the way?
Him.
Merrick have all of them?
He
Okay.
got them all, and I have some taffy left.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 pieces of taffy left, and that's it.
All right. Just wanted
Not
to check.
chew the
Make
taffy.
sure those are on your
while we're
character sheet,
trying
please,
to
Merrick.
do-
Four after 8 minutes. Okay, so you guys have drunk your potions and you are ready to take the plunge.
Bye.
How do you do it?
I jump.
Just you dangle or you just jump or what?
Less splash. Dangle.
Adelaide would tell everyone, if you jump, let's all do it together because I can slow us down instantaneously. I just need to know who's jumping.
That would have been good to know.
So, Arthur, so you already jumped, Arthur?
Yeah. Well, I
Give me a
said I did.
dexterity. Give me a dexterity save.
Everyone else can jump.
Yeah, we should probably all jump with you then, Adelaide.
A save or a check?
Save.
I apologize that
trying
I
to
didn't
prevent
speak
yourself
up
from
with the
getting
whole we're meeting to plan what we're doing, and I forgot to just be like, this is part of the plan, but Merrick said there were ropes, so I didn't know I
5.
Okay. So Arthur kind of leaps off and you just hear this like really solid, like wet slap as he hits the ground. But by the time you hear it and he's like in the water, he's past the back of the boat.
All right, everyone else
Let's go.
hop.
Yeah,
That's
let's
it.
go.
Perfect. So how do you
Bonnie
guys
like
do it?
swan dives.
Well, that's gonna be it's gonna be slightly unimpressive. If we all jump, Adelaide's gonna cast Feather Fall on the 4 remaining people, so that our descent
Okay.
is slowed a bit more,
And
so we
Alright.
don't take
Pencil
giant
dive.
steps.
Yeah.
It does say
all
60
right, so the rest
feet.
of
It's
you-
still pretty fast. It's just.
But it's there's no damage from falling. That's the point.
Yeah.
So it is fairly fast. Well, you got to think 60 feet around versus 500 feet around is about what you fall in the first round of falling. So yeah, it's it is much slower. So it's about 10% of falling speed, and then it doesn't speed up. It's not cumulative. So you jump off and you guys land in the water softly and gracefully without any issue. Bonnie does this weird slow swan diver, kind of loses it about halfway through, then recaptures it. Like whoa, this isn't right. I should already be in the water, but then you capture it and you like pull it back, and the ship is zooming away from you, but Arthur is still about maybe 120 feet behind you in the couple of rounds it took you guys to leap in. And as you guys are kind of swimming together before you start to descend, it's kind of a weird feeling knowing that as you go underwater, you can still breathe. Your body's still going through the motions, but the water, as it just kind of just passes your lips, you feel a turn to air, and it's not an issue for you. You after a moment, you don't lose that. You don't have that kind of panicky feeling. It's just gone. Bonnie, you never have that issue because you can breathe water. You didn't even need to take the fucking potion. Which did you want to? You don't have to, because you're
I
immune.
was told that
but you
the pressure would be rough.
Not to be preachy in this moment, but you know your body better than other people do. You know, as a sea elf, you're already immune to the crushing depths. You're already immune to cold. You're already immune to, you already can breathe water. You have no need to take this potion at all. So do you want to save it for a rainy day?
Yes.
Okay. So please mark that down on your sheet because that may become important.
Potion of water breathing?
Yes. Well, it's a potion. It's a special potion of water breathing. We'll call it a potion of deep sea travel or something like that.
Okay.
And as you guys start to swim together and you guys are practicing, breathing underwater and getting used to that, you hear behind you this sound like water rushing, like a huge explosion of just water. And as you kind of all turn and look, you see tendrils of water lift and wrap around the gigantic and start to lift it up out of the water, and it forms a sphere around it, sort of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the opening. It kind of forms a sphere around it. You see inside of it, it's all water, but inside it's still air, and the entire ship starts to get drugged down underneath. And as it does, you see these creatures, these sort of fishmen, climbing up and swimming up through the sphere, and they start to drop in and onto the ship as it starts to descend under the water. And that is where we're stopping for the night.
Oh.
Well, we didn't cause that. That's new.
See, I told you, star-crossed.
And then the very last thing you see is a door floating with nobody on it. So that's it for tonight. Thank you everyone for Shenanigoons, for shenanigooning with our shenanigans.
It's big enough for 2 people.
Thank you guys for it's big enough for 4 people. It's ridiculously huge. Brindlehoves is
on it.
Every time, man, I try to go on a nice, relaxing trip, and it just first I got thrown out of the train.
Oh man! So thank you guys very much.
Walking like a cat in booty.
Yes. Thank you guys for the subscriptions tonight. It's just so amazing, and our audience is growing. And the best thing you can do for us is share. We appreciate the money, absolutely, but share with your friends. Tell your friends about us. Talk about us on Twitter at Shenanigoons RPG. What is it? I'm sorry. What's our
The Shenanigoons.
At the Shenanigoons.
Way to say
oh, God. All right. So that's the nod to me. That's my little win in life there. So it's
it was just because Shenanigans was taken.
Yeah, I know.
What's our chat thing?
I don't know. Go check out nerdsmith.org. I want to be put it out there that starting probably July 4th, not that that's an important day, it just happens to be a holiday that I'll be available all day. We're going to be taking the website offline because we're putting a full rebuild up over the weekend. Hopefully it'll be up in just a day or two. But we finally got it. We rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up. It's working really good on our test server. So we're hoping this is it. This will be the last big thing, and we can finally spend some time doing other things like making amazing content, even more amazing. But thank you guys very, very much for being here. We got a lot of people here, so I'm going to ask everyone to come along with us on a little journey. And since I got yelled at earlier today, we're going to go say hi to Perception Check. Perception Studios. It's not Perception Check tonight, but and we're gonna go say hi to our good friends over there for that. Did I miss anything, guys?
Our raid cry should be the gigantic sank.
Gigantic sank. Oh wait, what is the last line when he's sinking? What is she saying?
Never let go.
Never let
Jack,
go, Dak. Never let
I'll
go,
never
Dak.
let go, Dak.
Never let go, Dak is
Yeah,
our raid
that's
cry.
Perfect.
It's
So
I'll never let go, Dak.
I'll never let go,
She's the
Dak.
one who-
There you go. I'll never let go, Dak is our raid cry. So please come along with us, even if you can't stay. We really appreciate it. Go check out nerdsmith.org today, so then you can see how much better it is on Friday or Saturday. Thank you guys so much for making chat just constantly go. Every time I look up, I'm so excited about everyone that's involved and watches our show, and it really means a lot to us. Shenanigoons has been our baby from the beginning. It was our first child. You always love your first child most, I hear. I'm sorry, that was a horrible thing to say.
You only have one, so
That's see, that makes it easy for me. I can say it, and it's true. So thank you guys again so very, very much. We really appreciate everything that you do. And thank you for all of the support with our Pride pins. The Pride pins are being ordered tomorrow. So they will be on our store, our new store that's coming up hopefully this weekend. And we raised a bunch of money for the Trevor Project, which we will be getting over to the Trevor Project as soon as we get these things ordered and figure out exactly how much it cost us and all of that. And then very soon, that means we'll be starting probably at the end of this month or August, I think is the best month to do it. We'll be doing our Kickstarter for the other pins. Don't quote me on that. We're going to do our best on figuring that out. So thank you guys. Let's go and raid Perception Studios. And we got 14 people coming along. Really appreciate it. We love you all. Have a wonderful night. Oh, and tomorrow, DRPG, we have a special guest at noon PST. Rev from the Crit Show podcast is coming on, which is a Monster of the Week podcast. He's got a big special announcement. And we're going to be learning how to do the thing. I know if you go and look at their show and know anything about them, the announcement's already been made. But
I was gonna ask if you wanted to do the announcement
since he
on
already
this
did it,
show. Since he already did it.
all right. Since it's
It
already
went
been
live
done,
an
it was put
hour
out
ago.
there. It went live an hour ago. The Crit Show is officially joining the Nerdsmith Network. So they are joining tonight with Arc 2, and they are starting, I believe, Dungeon World is the game that they're doing Arc 2 with. But they are officially joining Nerdsmith. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking with a long time. They're amazing people. And we just started rating. So goodbye.
Bye.